The Supercross Stampede rolls into the Lone Star State. Ryan Dungey strides into AT&T Stadium with a 9-point lead over Ken Roczen, with Trey Canard looking close behind. Could we have our first back-to-back win from the Okie? The 450 rookies have been pulling hole shots, winning heat races, and landing on the podium. Cole Seeley and Jason Anderson have posted runner-up finishes thus far. It is round 7, the time for the rookies to shine. This weekend marks the onset of the 250 East Division Championship. Justin Bogle will try to defend his #1 plate against a stacked field. This 250 class has it all. Wily veterans, exciting rookies, and jumping into the mix will be groundbreaking Supercross female Vicki Golden. Hello everyone, welcome to Race Day Live on SupercrossLive.com. We are here inside spectacular AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's round 7, ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of the 250 East Coast Series and the continuation of what's been an incredible 450 class championship. I'm your host, Danny Boyer, and beside me as always is Jim Hollywood Holly, former factory Yamaha rider and Supercross legend. Welcome to the show, folks.
Well, I think it's going to be a good show, Andy. You got a chance to look at the track behind us there. You're going to see something different, the dirt. They brought in new dirt. The Feld Motorsports people said, you know what, we got to get rid of that old Arlington dirt. We need to have some cushion in here. I think it's going to lend itself to a great night of racing here in Arlington. But, I mean, just the atmosphere here. You know, it's Valentine's Day. We want to wish all the female
girls happy
Valentine's Day. I forgot to bring your flowers, Andy. I was going to bring some roses. We got some plants, though. That's kind of cool for us.
Between two ferns almost.
But I'm excited about tonight. I mean, I think I'm excited because of where we're at. I mean, look, we got the fans walking behind us. We're right in the mix of things.
And speaking of being in the mix of things, let's look at the points in the 450 class. I mean, it's pretty close up front. Ryan Dungey has the lead right now. You know, but Roczen's right there, and who's charging really hard that I have my eye on is Trey Canard. Right behind him is Eli Tomac, a little bit further back, and then we got Anderson and Seeley rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, you look at Dungey there, you know, 9 points behind Kenny Roczen, like you talked about, 18. You know, that was huge for Trey Canard last week to win in San Diego, you know, to pick up 5 points. He's only 18 down. Then you go to Tomac, he's a full race out. He's 27 out. And then if you go back to Jason Anderson, 42, he's almost 2 full races out. But like you said, the Open, it's time for, I think, these rookies. It's round 7. Hey, you've got 6 rounds under your belt. You've won heat races. You've led laps. It's time to get up and win one of these things. And who do you think? I don't know. I think Seeley and Anderson, both of those guys have had podiums. Baggett's had starts, but still not on the podium yet. So you got to make one step at a time. If I'm Baggett, I'm working with him. Let's get on the podium first, and then after that, let's try that top spot.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, the 250 West guys are going on a hiatus. You know, they've had 6 rounds in their series, and they have a long break until April 11th, I think, in Houston. Cooper Webb has dominated those guys. Not even a huge practice crash could keep him away from that win in San Diego last weekend. He's got a 30-point lead over Jesse Nelson. It's gotten pretty ugly over there.
Well, I mean, it's not over, but it's looking that way. But, you know, they got a long break like you talked about. A lot of things can happen. But, you know, when they come back in Houston, if he can continue that roll, you know, 4 wins out of 6 rounds out there on the West Coast there. Tyler Bowers, the Monster Energy Pro Circuit guys, when are they going to step up and win one? I thought Bowers had it last week, leading 9 laps. Unfortunately for him, an illness, he's sick. He just hit the wall. That was it. He still was able to get on the podium and keep it honest. But like you said, if Cooper Webb wins there and then they go into Santa Clara where the 49ers play, I mean, he could wrap it up there before we even get to Vegas. So we'll see. But it's a whole different story on that East Coast out here tonight. This is round 1 starting.
That's right. The 250 East gets going here tonight. They have an awesome track. We have brand new dirt. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Kawasaki track map and take a closer look at it.
Well, you're going to see it right here. Beautiful Toyota Tundra right there. Let's see the arrow go down, and the gate drops here, and you're going to notice it's a long straightaway into that first turn. They're going to get into 4th gear. Downshift here, come out of here, this left-hander. Timing section as they go down into this next right-hander, a 180. Look for some passing going on there. Immediately out of there, if you can triple, step on, step off, and then carry that momentum and triple into this right-hander, leading up to the big 65-foot triple. Nice whip from the Kawasaki Green Arrow there. Another right-hander. Carry that momentum. A long set of whoops here. with a couple little bigger ones in between, maybe not quite as that big, but the longest set of whoops we've seen. Another right-hander out of there. You're going to roll that, hit that big 65-foot triple, throw it sideways. This is the key. If you can triple single, although we saw a quad, maybe we'll see a quad. Immediately out of that left-hander, backwards down the starting line, shift up, get into fourth gear, grab some brake, a 180 again, right-hander with a wall jump right there. The arrow went around the outside, a little triple, up and over the Monster Energy finish line. That is a lap here at Arlington at AT&T Stadium. It's gonna be a good one, and like we talked about, the dirt, it's red, it's got some moisture, it's not gonna be hard, and it's not gonna be a blue groove. Traditionally here in Dallas, in Arlington, we talked about it, throttle control. I don't think they're gonna have too much throttle control. You can get into a corner, grab a handful of throttle, and get out of there.
Yeah, it looks really good. They put a little bit of water down on it. It's gonna dry out just a little bit, but it's gonna be spectacular tonight. And we have a huge show for you folks. We have some great guests lined up for you today. First up, we're going to have Monster Energy Kawasaki's Will Hahn. He's from Oklahoma and Kansas and Texas, kind of all three there, but it's going to be great to have him on the show. He has a new blog he's writing for supercrosslive.com called Will's Word. He's a funny guy to talk to. We're going to have a good time having him on the show. And we're also going to have Wes Kane over here to join us. Wes Kane's always a good time, spreading positive vibes. He's going to talk about Arenacross. He runs the show over there as the MC, and he's going to get us up to speed on while they're on their break.
Well, and you mentioned that. They got a break. Next time we'll see them. And then look who we got here. Lyle Lovett is going to be on our show.
We're used to seeing him like that, the four-time Grammy Award winner. You know, most people have seen him like that. But there's a part, you know, aside to Lyle, there we go. You know, he's
That's
a motocross
the racer,
guy.
Lyle Lovett right there.
And he is as old school as it gets. You know,
still enjoys racing today.
Right.
You go out on a vintage Husky and get out there and mix it up with Scotty Wallenberg and stuff. I saw some photos of him up in Idaho. He loves to ride. He's just a big enthusiast.
Number
loves
32,
to take photographs. Yeah, the 32. We're going to ask him about that. I've always seen him in pictures with 32. We got to ask him when he comes on the show. And then look who else we got.
Number one, numero uno, El Capitan. You know, Captain 891 is his Twitter handle. But Justin Bogle won that championship last year. He's a charismatic guy, fun to talk to. We don't know, he got hurt and had some shoulder surgery. It's going to be interesting to see. I heard he's been on the bike for about a month. We're going to see if he has what it takes to jump in there and defend that number one place.
Well, and I talked to him. I said, last year you kind of started out slow. Last year in Arlington here, he finished up 5th. I mean, Vince Freeze was 4th, and then you had the pro circuit lock with Adam Cianciarulo, the rookie, and then Baggett, as well as Martin Davilo. So he says, you know what? Hey, I won it before we got to Vegas. I want to try to do the same thing again this year, but I think it's going to be a little bit harder this year.
It's going to be tough. Jeremy Martin's on the Star Racing team, Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha squad, and that bike is amazing this year. We were talking about it on Track Walk earlier. Stay tuned to see that. But, then we got the pro circuit guys who haven't won a race this year, and I was able to speak with Mitch Payton this morning. I can tell you they're very serious about starting this new East Coast series with Arnaud Tonas and Joey Savacci. He said both of them are riding well. They're ready to go.
Well, and you mentioned Joey Savacci. We haven't seen him race in a year. So, that you got a rookie, and then you got a kid that's had injuries start out. The other guy that I like, Marvin Musquin, we haven't seen him in a year. You got to remember, he was the runner-up to Will Hahn in 2013, sat out all of 2014, but he's ready to go. He's chomping at the bit. He was just a big smiles when I did an interview with him. He says, I'm just happy to be back at Supercross after missing a whole year. So, he's going to be tough also.
Oh, yeah, he's been over there training at the Baker factory. And little quick history there. Everybody that's been riding with those, that group's done pretty well this year.
They're winning. They're winning, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we have some huge guests coming up for you. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil delivers maximum horsepower, bulletproof wear protection, and consistent clutch feel for the confidence you need to get on it, get after it, and stay out front. AMSOIL, out front performance. Visit amsoil.com/dirtbike to learn more. And DC Shoes. DC is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes. And welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Andy Boyer, Jim Hawley. Man, this stadium is pretty cool. I mean, I've been talking about it all week, but now that we're in here, look at the view over our shoulder. Check out the Jumbotron up there, ladies and gentlemen. You can almost see it in your picture there. But we got thousands of people coming in to watch practice and qualifying later on.
pretty exciting, man.
Something else we got new.
What's it?
We got new props.
Oh, yeah.
Look at our props we got here.
We got a double, looks like a double can there. We got some stuff going on. So,
cool.
yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys send us some photos. Use the hashtag Supercross on Fox. Hashtag Race Day Live. Send us some things of what you're doing today. All you international viewers and domestic, everybody, we want to see what you're doing. We have a special part of our program tonight, Jim.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, we talk about our props, but somebody here trying to make history.
Yeah.
Vicki Golden trying to be the first female to qualify for a Supercross here. I mean, we've had Steffi Bow and other girls, Sue Fish, come to mind. A few. Actually, I saw Hannah Hodges. She's a little bit younger, but she was at the Monster Energy Cup. But Vicki Golden, she's qualified through. As we're going to look some of her footage when she was out here at press day. She looks good out there. I mean, she's comfortable, and I think that she'll do well tonight. Yeah,
she's the real deal. You know, she was jumping all the triples and getting over the rhythm sections. I mean, this girl can throw huge knack-knacks, whip the bike completely flat. It's not a stunt. This is the real deal. She's qualified through the Arenacross series and got her Supercross license, and it's going to be interesting to see if she can get in the field. She's got a great chance.
Well, and I liked what we did on the track walk. You know, she was just getting hounded with so much press today that I told you, I said, hey, Andy, let's let her do the track walk by herself. We'll talk to her after Atlanta next week and ask her how her first event was. But I figured, you know, she's had so much press. You actually got a chance to talk to her in the lobby of the hotel, and you say, hey, did you get some sleep? And she says, well, yeah, because every other morning prior to this, I've been getting up at 4 o'clock to do the morning news. So we figured we'd let her go. We didn't get an interview with her, but we'll let her talk and do it out on the track.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's really interesting to see the big media picture. We have USA Today here. We have ESPN.com. We have the AP that's writing a story. It's really inspirational. And like you said earlier about Hannah Hodges, this is going to pave the way for her in a couple years from now. You know, if Vicki gets in, that's going to motivate other girls to keep trying, to try the Arenacross series, to just keep rolling. You know, it's awesome.
Well, and you're going to see some photos here over there. I mean, nice whips, this and that. I mean,
can you whip it that hard? I
can't
do that.
No, not anymore. If you see me like that, stepping off the motorcycle, I'm crashing at that point there. I guarantee it. That was a beautiful whip. Looks like kind of maybe that was Hollister where you were out riding a couple weeks back. But definitely has skills. And I mean, that's the thing about it, you know, the freestyle, things like that. She's entering into a different element here. She came through the AMSOIL Arenacross series. She's banged bars with those boys. Now she's banging boys with the big boys.
Right.
And you got 60 competitors out there. Hopefully she can get in that top 40 and make history here tonight in Arlington.
Yeah, she's only got to be faster than 19 of them. So if she goes out there and gets her head on straight and gets over all the rhythm lanes and gets through the whoops clean, she has the opportunity to put in one fast lap and make the show.
Well, and you were mentioning about, you know, being a mentor for other, you know, kids.
Yeah.
One of the girls tonight competing in the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge. I'm not sure what her name is.
It's Kylie Stallings from Edmond, Oklahoma.
There you go, just up the road there in Okie, you know. So she's paving the way. She's already got little girls that are competing in the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge. So I think it's cool.
Well, the thing I like about it the most is how Vicki has carried herself through all this. You know, she's not, you know, out to draw a lot of attention to herself. She's not really, you know, she's taking it like any other racer would. You know, she's humble. She wants to get in there, but she's just a racer. You know, it's like James Stewart was, the first African-American Supercross champion we've ever had, and he said, we all look the same with our helmets on.
Yeah, I mean, when she lines up, you know, the people aren't going to look over and go, she's a girl. She's
a
competitor.
That's
she's
right.
out here. She's just like anyone else that's trying to make the 40 fastest and make the night program, and that's going to be so huge. I think this stadium, all the girls, you know, if she can get in that top 40 and she's on the starting line, you know, she just broke down some barriers. Now she'll be the first female to
it's like, you know, my younger brother drives in the Sprint Cup Series, and he races against Danica Patrick, and when she's showing him a fender on the inside, he doesn't care that she's a girl. You know, she's just a racer. It's really cool. It's a great story we're going to follow throughout the show today. But moving forward, the 250 East is going to be awesome, you know, and I want to see how these guys are going to get through the whoops. I want to see how they're going to get down this long start straightaway. We were down there on the track last night checking it out. We kind of got a workout in.
It was tough down there, especially in the whoops. But the thing that we can't stress enough is you look behind us and you see the different colored dirt here in Arlington. Like I said, the Feld track crew and the Feld Motorsports people said, look, we need to get some new dirt in here, and they got it, and I think the riders are going to be so happy. I guarantee a lot of the top guys are going to come up and shake Dave Prater, Todd Jenner, everybody.
Right.
You know, Rich Winkler and the guys, hey, man, thanks for this great dirt because it looks good.
Let's go take a closer look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Boyer and Jim Hawley with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here in AT&T Stadium. You know, they say, Jim, in Texas, everything's bigger here. Now, this start really back. Long start straightaway, man.
Well, you talk about it. The guys are in the starting gate. It's second gear. You come out of there, you're going to hit third, and they're going to get into fourth here, and then they're going to get into this sweeping left-hander back onto. But something interesting that I like about this start is if you notice up above our head, that's that hole shot. This is where the white line is going to go. This is where Supercrosslive.com is going to pay $1,000 for the 250 and $1,500 to the 450. Traditionally, you know, it's out of the first corner. Guys will race into that first corner. They'll get in a little hot. Guys will check up a little bit. They'll come out and they'll collect the money. But here, this is going to be a flat-out drag race to that white line. It's going to be the guy who's got the fastest motorcycle to this point.
Right, and another thing that's interesting about this start, at the conclusion of the first lap, Jim, check out what we got here. They're going to land off this triple, come around through this rhythm section, go over this roller, and come back down the start stretch backwards into that corner down there.
I always kind of like that because, you know, when I was riding, when you had stuff like this, I mean, you come off of that jump, you're going to jump out to here, you know, 30, 40 feet, you're going to land, and then you're going to drive all the way in, and you got a hard right-hander, a lot of passing, a lot of guys get in too deep, you can get underneath the guys, you can bump guys out of the way, and then right out of that, kind of an old school jump, a wall jump straight up and down that they got to deal with. It's a tough track here in Arlington, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got special dirt. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but there's another aspect of this track that's really big. That's the theme here in Texas. Let's go check out this big old whoop section.
Yeah, you talk about it. I'm not even looking forward to walking over there and walking through the whoops.
All right, now here we are in the middle of this whoop section. It was quite a walk getting over here to this part of the track.
It's tough, and I mean, you look at this whoop section, and it is going from end zone to end zone. So the longest part of the stadium here, we counted what? I think 18 to 20 of these whoops. Let's walk through them just to show the people how deep these things are. I mean, you drop into here. I mean, if you look at it, we're dropped in. I mean, it's above my knees.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with this, you know, and kind of keep that front wheel up. A lot of guys you hear, they talk about shifting and getting on top of them and things like that. I know the thing you do not want to do is drop the front end on this. You want to keep that bike in. I mean, think about, you know, how hard it is on the transmission, the guy's knees and everything when you're slamming into these things and just trying to get up on top of them. Unlike last weekend in San Diego where we saw, yeah, there was only about 12 of them with a little bit of a break in the middle. Here, there's no break. There's no break in Dallas, or Arlington rather. Yeah. It is all whoops, this section here.
Just kind of like Jim said, it's almost like San Diego, way bigger, way longer section of whoops. There's going to be a lot of passing here, a lot of mistakes. Keep your eyes peeled to this part of the track for some serious action. Well, that's the track, man. It looks pretty good. We have a special guest for you here. My buddy Will Hahn's coming up to Race Day Live. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Appreciate having me on, guys.
Good to see you, Will.
You look a lot better, man. You feeling better?
I'm starting to feel somewhat normal, as normal as I'm ever going to feel. But, you know, the pain's starting to go away, the sleeping's starting to get normal, all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Have a little bit of technical difficulties here, but we're going to fix that up for you really quick. And go ahead and now how long has it been since the crash that, you know, at the first one, and you broke? Tell us the extent of your injuries again.
It's been right now right at 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm starting to actually, you know, the bones starting to come together, everything like that. I ended up fracturing my T4, a compression fracture, 5 ribs, and I re-broke my humerus that I broke back in St. Louis last year. So for me, that was difficult because I just went through this whole process with my arm and getting it back healthy and getting it back normal, and then it's like starting back over. So for me right now, it's just been wide open, starting therapy, starting to actually be able to move the body around and do the stationary bike, no impact or anything like that. And I got out of my brace this week for my back, so I'm feeling free.
Something else you get a chance to do. I mean, it sucks that you're injured, you're going to miss the Super, but you're getting a chance to, during intermission, to go down out on the track and talk to Lurch and tell some of the fans, you know, from your perspective on what the guys are dealing with out there on the track.
And that's been such a blast for me. I mean, I got to see Kevin do it the last couple of years and try to learn from him, I guess. But, yeah, calling the action down there, you know, it's hard for me to come to a race and watch. I want to be out there. It's you know, it's really tough on the mind. So, but to be out there and calling it, it's still getting you to be a part of it in a way. So it's kind of giving me a little bit of a sense of just you know, I don't know. It's like a routine for me. I can't train, I can't ride. So to be able to do that, it's give me something to look forward to. So
there's
yeah,
Lurch.
yeah. So and you know, if anybody knows Lurch, you know how like wide open he is. You know how loud he is, and how fun that is to work with. For me is, you know, I'm just thankful to have the opportunity.
Well, more to that effort, man. You're really helping out the team. You jumped in there with Big B and drove the rig across the country. What was that like?
Oh yeah, man, it was great. We, you know, we did the whole deal. I slept in the sleeper with him. Well, not with him. We had 2 different bugs. I want to clarify that. But so
it's Valentine's Day. It's cool.
I know, true. I mean, we were solo, so no, it was awesome. It was really fun. We got to go across country, like I said. We made the lunches in there. There's a coffee machine in the rig to keep us going, and you know, to see the behind-the-scenes thing that you don't, as a rider, get to see and you kind of take for granted. You know, we got here, we washed the semi, and they're setting up the tent and going grocery shopping, all the stuff that, you know, when I fly in Friday, I go sign at the local dealership, and then I go to the rig Saturday morning. You just, it's easy to take that for granted.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you know, as a former rider myself, you don't get a chance to do that and know what the rest of the team and how hard they work. I mean, that is a lot. That's a big enough job, Big B, you know, driving the thing, and the responsibility of making sure that hauler's here. I mean, think about some of the weather that they have to deal with too as we move back east.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't experience any technical difficulties, but like as far as like if it gets a blowout, you know, if something, the rig, a motor blows, or I don't know, what turbo goes out, anything like that. So to experience all that and just see that, for me was an eye-opener and be like, man, this guy's, you know, not that I doubted that they worked hard, but you know, just to see that, it was pretty humbling.
You had a good experience. When I had the Japanese team, I jumped in. Pat, he was a Yamaha hauler, and we were going from Sacramento back down to there. And what happened was the trailer broke down, and I mean, it took us 20 hours to get back to LA because we had to have someone weld it, so I had a bad experience. But these guys are having a great experience right now out on the track.
Oh, yeah.
The 250B group.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Colt Nichols there.
Yeah, he's a local kid I grew up with, watching him and Justin Bogle ride. You know, he rides at Trey Canard's place a lot, I know that. And also he's on my the team that my brother rides for, so I'm a big fan, pulling for Colt tonight.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see that motorsport, you know, organization come together. Our friend Marshall Plum's helping those guys out a little bit with their suspension and stuff. And I wish Tommy was here on a 450, but it's cool to see, you know, Nichols out here. I think this is his first Supercross, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I know he rode the Arenacross series last year, and I know that now he's stepping up to this ball game and getting a taste of this, which, man, he's a great rider. Like I said, I've seen him growing up, watching him ride, and I'm just excited to see him, you know, on the proving grounds.
Absolutely, and it looks like we have somebody have some trouble there. That is Kiesel right there. He's up and going again. It's going to be fine. Looks like the traction is excellent right now, Will. Doesn't it look? I know you want to be out there.
He's bummed out. He goes, man, I got hurt here in Arlington, and last year, I mean, look at the dirt these guys got the chance to work with today.
No, and that's the thing. You know, I've come here the years prior, and the dirt seems so different. This, to me, seems like, you know, growing up in this area, kind of, and riding on the local tracks. This is the dirt that I relate Texas to.
Me too.
And the previous dirt in the years, it just doesn't seem like it fit here. So this is just, I don't know. I'm really bummed now I'm not riding.
It's another rookie up on the top there, 343.
Yeah, Luke Rensland there for the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha organization. They were really excited about him coming here. I talked to him last week, and they said he's got some serious speed.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him before he went out for that first free practice, and the number 343 I thought was pretty cool because he is from New Jersey, and that number is from 9/11, the firefighters that passed away. So in reference to that, he wants to represent that, and that's why he picked 343, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool. I would have never even known that. So that's something that's, that's cool.
We debut stuff here all the time on Race Day Live.
Absolutely.
So, and he's still leading the way here. Your top 5 is Rensland, Nichols, Gaines, Rodriguez, and Dakota Alex, who is making his Supercross debut today. Dakota Alex, we're going to have to keep an eye on him. He's pretty fast. He's got a lot of speed.
Well, and another guy, you know, Rodriguez, as we see him, he bumps up to the top there at 54.1, and you know, he had a couple of races last year. He started out his rookie season here in Arlington, went down to Atlanta, had some problems there, crashed out, and then didn't ride any more Supercrosses, but it's good to see him up on the top of the board now. And we took a look at him after that free practice.
Earlier,
he was kind of down a little bit. I was wondering if they weren't kind of detune him. You hear that a little bit sometimes when you get a rookie. They're overzealous, Will, coming in. They're just so amped up that they end up crashing their brains out and not competing.
Absolutely. So I'm sure there's plenty of people telling him, hey, you know what, that first practice doesn't count for anything. Look at the track, learn the lines, size up the rhythm sections, and go from there, because you know you're not going to prove anything in that practice. Nothing to gain. Only things you can really lose from it. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people telling him, hey, you know what, let's just take it race by race and enjoy it.
You know, you talk about the crash that you had at Anaheim at the opener there, and you've been through it before. You know a little bit when you'll be able to be back on that motorcycle. When do you think that would be? Are you talking April, May, or it's hard to say at this point?
I'd say right now, judging from all the doctors I've been seeing and, you know, just kind of knowing this routine, unfortunately, I'd say April 1st is a pretty realistic time frame for me. Whether that's any Supercrosses or not, I'm not sure. I'd say more realistically probably Hangtown for me. But, you know, if there's any chance, I'm going to try to come back here.
Well, the only thing about that is when you're coming back and you're just kind of getting into things, you don't jump back out on court. You probably just go do some free ride and go do a little trail ride and just kind of get used to it before you get back out there. But the other thing is, hey, at least your teammate over there, Davey Millsaps, he'll have half of the testing already done, so when you come back in, you'll have some good settings already.
Yeah, the bike should already be dialed in by the time I come in, and like I said, just hop on it and go.
And folks, on screen right now is Alex, who we were just talking about a while ago, Dakota Alex. He looks good out there, looks pretty comfortable. He's getting over the rhythm sections. We just saw him go through the whoop section with a lot of speed. So, you know, like we were talking about earlier, I was talking to Mitch Payton this morning, and Will, I'm sure you can relate to this. When they were trying to kind of corral Chris Aldridge, he's like, you know, with practice you have 3 opportunities. You have the first one, then your first qualifying, then your second. He said, you know, I just got to get him to memorize the track in the first practice, then try to go a little bit faster and do the bigger obstacles in the second, and then actually practice racing in the third. Is that how you break it down?
It depends. I think you get in a routine at some point where, you know, it becomes almost second nature. But you said, like, as a rookie, going in, of course, you know, you're going in, you're kind of excited. Everything's kind of hitting you fast, you know. Lots of excitement, like you said, butterflies. So definitely, I would be out there, you know, trying to go, okay, you know, left turn, you know, get everything
jump
dialed
on,
in your
jump
head.
off.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, get all that dialed in, like you said. Then the second practice, worry about, okay, what rhythms are going to be happening throughout the night, and then try not to stress on, you know, I have to go 3 here. If it's not a race line, it's not a race line.
Right.
You know, so you know, getting that down in, like you said, then that last practice, yeah, you got to be focused on racing the track, because tonight you got to be fully prepared to go. You know, the heat race is only 6. I realize that, but then that 15-lap main event means so much.
Yeah.
So you definitely got to be prepared to put lap after lap together, because it's one thing to do one fast lap out here, and then, you know, and then unfortunately, you know, like, man, I did one, but I don't know how to complete that again. So it's easy to get overwhelmed in the I guess the stopwatch battle.
Hey, let me ask you this, Will. You know, with your time off, we see a lot of riders that have a lot of respect for the MotoGP guys. You ever go out and have a chance? The only reason why I'm saying is Colin Edwards just walked by our screen there, and Colin's an old friend of mine, and I think it's cool that, you know, the Supercross, motocross guys, they have a lot of respect and enjoy watching MotoGP, and then on the other hand, the MotoGP guys, if they get a chance, I saw Nicky Hayden at Anaheim, they get a chance and they love to watch Supercross.
Yeah, absolutely. Any kind of motorsport, like I love anything with an engine, you know, anything that's loud, makes noises and goes fast, I'm all about it. So like you said, I'm good friends with Nicky, big fan of his. He's got me out to MotoGP at Laguna Seca. I got to go watch that, you know, watched Valentino Rossi's documentary. Thought it was very just, motivating. And then not only that, but then actually going in March, I'm going to fly over to Australia and watch the opening round of the Formula One, which I'm lucky enough to be good friends with Daniel Ricciardo. So for me, it's just it's nice. I'm going to go over there and hang out and see his hometown, and also get to see the opening round. So my dad just kind of got me hooked on that, and I think actually in Atlanta too, I'm going to go out for the NASCAR and go watch practice, and hopefully go watch Andy's brother Clint tear it up.
Cool. I know a guy that knows a guy. We can get passes. Let's do this. But back to on-track action here. We have about a minute and a half to go in this 250B qualifying number 1.
Well, look at Rodriguez already in. You know, I know some of the mechanics and technicians talking to him there. That's Michael Craig's stepbrother, Jeremy, there, kind of telling him, hey, you got to do this, do that, do this, and let's see if you can get back out there and try it.
Well, whatever Rodriguez is doing, it's good, because he's fastest right now, and he's fastest by 4/10, almost a half a second over Colt Nichols, and then Luke Rinsland's 3rd, Jace Owens 4th, and Keith Tucker there in 5th position on the Yamaha.
You look at those top 3 there, and like you said, except for Alex Rodriguez, he's got 2 races under his belt, but I still consider him a rookie.
Whoa.
3 of the top 3 guys are rookies, in my opinion.
Yeah, sorry, I was just watching number 89 there, Brady Kiesel going through the whoops. Got a little whiskey going on, but that section right there, Will, did you see how they do the triple and then the single? Do you think later on today a 450 is going to get over all 4 of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I walked the track today, and you know, we see the similar obstacles every weekend, but I looked at that one. The 4th landing is pretty small.
Small, yeah.
So if you come up short,
the consequence isn't that much. So In my eyes, we've seen a lot of the guys these last couple of weekends start sitting 4. I know at one of the Anaheims, I think I saw Eli Tomac and Justin Barsha go 4 out.
Yep.
So I think we'll be seeing that tonight.
Is that something you guys do, you know, when you're walking the track, you look at something, you go, well, maybe that's a quad, maybe, and then you weigh out the consequences like, man, if you miss, you're done, or if you come up short, hey, it's no big deal. You're still going to be able to make the corner.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a time where it becomes risk for reward, right? So, you know, yeah, maybe I can do it, but if I do short it, my night's done. And something like that, I do feel like, you know, yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but you're not going to, you know, crash or go over the bars from it. So, and not only that, but from all these guys going 3-1 into the corner, I do see that 4th one getting kind of beat down. So I would imagine that, like I said, I do imagine we see a guy go 4.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, I mean, you look at it and you'll see some guys, and I'm not sure which guys will pull the trigger in today's era and do something like that, but you got to also look into later on down the line. I mean, the track's good right now. Is that course going to be available in the main event?
That's the biggest thing. I think that you can always catch yourself dwelling on, you know, I got to do this, and then you know what, after the 20 laps tonight, say after that last main event, you realize that we never even did that, and you were stressing out your day over something that never became a race line and never bought you that time that you're looking for to get a little bit more.
Well, you're mentioning time. We're getting a chance to see on the big screen here Alex Rodriguez, like you said, with that fast time of 53.2. I'm pretty sure that'll get him in the top 40 fastest.
Yeah, that was a back and forth effort right there. We saw Gaines and Nichols and Rensland jump to the top, and Jay Sowen was fast. Brady Kiesel there, he ended up going down in the whoops. He was back up and going, but that was pretty exciting, you know, practice there. We didn't see too many guys crash, so that's good.
See another guy down there in 9th. That's Chris Pluth. He's from Castaic, California. Robert Kelly's good friend.
Right.
You know, and I asked Robert Kelly, I said, man, why is he riding the East? Why didn't he ride the West? But he just wasn't prepared. And, you know, he wanted to start here and get a little bit more time under his belt before he jumped into Supercross.
Right. So once again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in here in AT&T Stadium with Will Hahn and Jim Hawley, Andy Boyer here. Let's talk about this 450 class, man. This is round 7. You know, they kind of break down the championship into 3 segments. The opening West Coast races, then the East Coast swing with Texas, 2 Atlanta races, Daytona, and then Indianapolis. Look who's hot right now. We got Dungey out front. And look at his history with this event. In 2010, he wins it. Then he gets a 3rd in 2011, a 2nd in 2012, and a 2nd last year. So he's been on the podium 4 years in a row. He's leading the points. What do you think he's going to do tonight?
I think that anytime you give Ryan Dungey confidence, you're messing with fire. I think that, you know, it's always fun to watch him when he gets this sense of, you know, like I said, confidence. He starts clicking off race wins, all this stuff. And like you said, 4 podiums in 4 years. I mean, it's hard to mess with that. So for me, I guarantee we see him on the box tonight. He's got something going with him these last couple weekends. And I know last weekend, you know, 3rd wasn't what he wanted, but he was right there, you know. And I just see, you know, those guys leave the West Coast and everything kind of starts happening. Like I said, the guys with confidence and they got the momentum rolling. Now we got traction on these tires for these guys, and I think we'll be seeing some pushing. Man, the racing's been exciting. It's been tough not to have been out there because, as a fan's perspective, it's been so great to watch.
Right. Yeah, it's been exciting. There's been some barbs, you know. We had Pike, who's back this weekend, and Barsha go at it. They weren't happy with each other. Last weekend in San Diego, Tomac got inside of Reed and went down, and then after the race, Reed was kind of like, oh man, nice job. So it's kind of cool. As a fan, I love it.
Yeah, no, it's exactly.
Something else that's cool, you got to be a fan. This is the C group here in the 250. Vicki Golden making her debut in Supercross. Got a chance to do that no other woman has done. Qualify for her first Supercross ever. Number 423 right now out there. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see her. That's 519 out there right now. I'm trying to look and see who that is.
That's Cartwright. 519 is Joshua Cartwright from Tallahassee, Florida. Has made the drive over there. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Vicki does here. There she is. Let's see her get through this rhythm section here. She looks pretty good.
I mean, I feel like we're all rooting for her, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it's so
are.
cool.
Sure.
It's all cool to see her go through the road to Supercross, through Arenacross, do the whole path, and then see her here now. I mean, nothing but respect for Vicki, and you know, I've seen her ride a long time, and X Games do the best whip with the men, and it's man, it's cool.
Well, in that little section there, she didn't do she stepped on, but she didn't step off of it. And hey, if she doesn't feel comfortable, don't go pull the trigger right now. You still got a lot of time in this practice. You have one more. She's still learning the track, you know, and if you see something that she's not doing, go down there, Will, and tell her, hey, do this a little different. Help her out. I want to see a girl get into that main event.
Me too, absolutely. You know, I would love nothing more than to see her get in this night show and then get in the main event. event tonight. It's just, man, like you said, history in the making. It's really cool.
Absolutely, and meanwhile, it is that's Auberson out front, number 902, Killian Auberson from Temecula, California. He's followed by Cartwright, Steffi, Taylor, and Carnow. That's your top 5 in 250C practice number 1.
It's cool to see how the dirt is now and then seeing it kind of break down, because in the past it was so hard packed and you can see what kind of one race line going in, and then right now, like that corner we just saw on the screen, I don't know, 6 ruts in the turn.
Yeah. It's funny, like you said earlier, this dirt reminds me of when I used to race Arenacrosses down here, like in Fort Worth. And even like, you know, in the Lazy E Arena, the dirt's just like that.
Guthrie.
Yeah.
That was the biggest Arenacross I've ever ridden in. I mean, that was almost like a Supercross track in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's 502 right there. That is Andrea Winkler, you know, from Menifee, California.
Oh, one of the riders going down there. He's okay. The Feld track crew right on top of it there. I think that's Travie there helping him.
Mark Weischer. Yeah, he's okay. Good to see him back up.
Kind of shaking it off, saying, oh, not a good way to start the first qualifying practice walking around out there, because you already don't have that much time out there. And I don't know if he's going to get back on that motorcycle. He's walking away from it. He's kind of gesturing over, and maybe he wants to be checked out by the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit. Hopefully he'll be okay and get back in there for that second time practice.
Yeah, hopefully he can just shrug that one off. I'm sure it didn't feel good though.
Yeah, they never do. And there's 391 on your screen right there. It's Ryder Steffi. Ryder Steffi is from Edmonds, Washington. We've got him from all over here in the 250 East. California, Washington, Florida. You know, what's funny is I haven't seen anybody from Texas yet. So
well, and you look at that, you talk about Edmonds, Washington, you think, wow, this kid should be you know, a West Coast guy. You know, it's on the West Coast there. But a lot of these guys, and I like what they're doing, and Will, you can chime in on this, is that they're saying, hey, you know what, I can have 6 more weeks of practice under my belt before I get on the Supercross track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that, you know, sometimes it could be multiple situations. You know, I had years in the lights class where either, you know, an injury came about and I needed a couple more weeks to get ready from that, or, you know, just simply like the year I won my title in 13, it was something for me where I just felt like I wanted to ride East Coast. I had done West a few years and I just wanted to change, and I did it from California. You know, I wasn't living out here or anything, so it was like you said, there's so many elements to this puzzle, but if you just need a couple more time, you know, maybe the bike wasn't dialed in yet, and they just, you know, if you have the luxury of changing, sometimes it can be the magic trick.
There's Vicki right there. I like that she has a GoPro. She kind of go over, look at some of that footage. There was a nice section, turning the throttle here. It's a nice double there, double there. There's that step on, step off, but she landed on the downside of it. But
this triple's pretty tough right here. Let's see if she sends it.
She'll get it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
nice.
Just a little bit short. She'll get it out. Now she's got that under her belt. Going through the whoops there.
And that double on the whoops is going to be tough all night. I was watching that on the track walk like, man, that's going to be tricky.
They kind of had a section like that in San Diego last weekend, but it was just kind of a single with a flat spot. Nobody had trouble, but that is like an actual double, and it seems like you guys, like the 450A group, is just going to try to carry over it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think that you want to carry as much speed as you can into it, but then at the same time, if you don't get that double landing perfect, you don't want to have to end up rolling that because you can't jump into that next set of whoops.
No, right.
So for me, I don't know. Unless they get worn down more and they can start jumping into those, for sure, you got to make sure your timing's on.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about timing there. Vicki Golden with a 101.4 right now. That sets her in about 13th position right now. Although I think she might be on a heater and maybe moving up. Let's have to see.
Oh, absolutely. Her lap before that was a 107 or a 108, so she dropped 6 seconds. And, you know, I'd like to see her get down there into the 59s. That would really, really heat things up as far as her making this field. She only needs a couple seconds. I think she can do that.
And I said that just cleaning up that triple landing, a few things will just kind of, you know, start clicking the time off for sure. And I'm sure there's tons of jitters. I know my first Supercross, I had to pull in the mechanics area and tell my guy, hey, I just need a minute to just calm down. Like, this is just overwhelming. So.
Well, that's exactly what she's doing right now. Looks like she's going to kind of ride in and go talk to some of the mechanics. And like you said, kind of catch your breath and re-get a focus. Now she enters back into the track, and we'll see how that goes. But, you know, she's done a lot of media. Andy and I, you know, we talked about it earlier, we didn't even want to bother her on the track walk. We figured,
Yeah.
hey, let's just leave her alone. She's
Yeah.
done so much press. Let's just let her have her own, walk the track with her people. And I know how you guys, it's a pain in the butt when we come up and we want to interview you guys on the track walk. But I mean, it's just part of the game that, we got to ask the questions. And so we just said, you know what, we'll talk to her. Let her get a race under her belt and we'll talk to her.
Yeah, she looked good this morning. I had breakfast with her, and I asked her, I was like, are you nervous? She's like, no, not really. I'm just tired. I've been up at 4 in the morning for the last 2 days. And
Yep.
So she seemed really relaxed. It's cool. I'm glad to see she's out there going for it. Makes for a really cool story here. Not that we really needed any more action with the 450 class being crazy and the 250 East race tonight. I think it's really going to surprise people. I think, the Mitch Payton's guys are going to be fast. Joey Savacci, he said, had a lot of really good times at his practice track. A lot of people are looking at Marvin Musquin, Jeremy Martin, and obviously Bogle, with the #1 play. But I think there's going to be some guys show up in the top 3 and the top 5 tonight that are going to surprise some people.
Absolutely, and everyone was so excited about the West Coast racing, and you can't discount it. It was a great race,
Right.
awesome to watch. And then if you get to reset and then go a whole new group of guys right now,
Yeah.
so that's so exciting as a fan to go. All right, who do I root for? I'm at home. Like, man, there's, like you said, there's Marvin, there's Justin, there's Jeremy Martin coming off a championship. Bogle defending the championship. I mean, it just gets to a point where it's like, man, this racing is so exciting to see who did their homework in the offseason.
Exactly. Well, here with, looks like we got about a minute to go. It's still Cartwright up front, 5:19, Cartwright, and then he's followed by Alberson, Carnow, Dylan Slusser, and Morgan. That's your top 5. Cartwright has a 55.4 lap time. That's not bad at all, considering Eli Tomac's fastest time today earlier in their 450 practice #1 was a 50.8, so not bad. Vicki Golden is still sitting there with a 1:01, so I think she's got enough time to try to drop one more heater.
Yeah, and if you look at it, going off of that B practice, I believe they were in the 53, so they're only a couple ticks off. But the hardest thing when you're in the C practice you're trying to lay down is we see traditionally, Will, a lot of yellow flags out there and things like that with the C group. That's going to be the hardest thing when you're out there on a heater. It's distracting. You see the yellow flag out there, and to try to, oh man, I gotta take it easy.
No, totally. And that's right there.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but he went down pretty good. He's okay. It's good to see the thumbs up from those guys when they hit the deck like that.
Yeah, I never want to see that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is a part of it, and it being the C practice, you could have a ton of rookies to the Supercross racing as far as this could be their first race, just being a little bit nervous, all that stuff, and the yellow flag is going to come out. It's inevitable. You're learning.
Yeah, that was Taylor there, I believe.
Jeremy Taylor from Ohio, yeah. Whoa, buddy. Don't walk back out in the track.
Sometimes it's harder to get off the track after you crash. I mean, the guys are coming by, they're on their heaters, and you want to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's so easy to be, just distracted. Okay, I just crashed. I want to get off the track. It's the first thought, and to not look both ways. It's like crossing the street, right? You got to be aware of your situation and what's going on.
That's going to do it. Checker flags out here in 250C practice #1. It's Cartwright. He's your fastest with Albertson. Elliott jumps up to 3rd, followed by Carnow, and Dylan Slusser is your top 5. And looks like Vicki was able to post a, stayed right there. Yeah, she's 13th with a 1:01.
Yeah, that's fine. A 1:01.4,
She's
to
got
start.
2 more chances, right?
Yeah, and I think the thing, and Will can attest to this, that the thing about it is that, now she'll get a chance to go up into the stands and watch the A riders out there and pick up a few things. Oh, that's what they're doing there. Okay, that's what they're doing,
They're gonna look at that. They're gonna go look at footage probably that they're looking at. That they probably filmed her. They'll film some of the A guys and say, okay, yeah, this is what they're doing different. I can pick up a couple tenths here and there. Maybe even get a second or two. And like you said, it gives her a chance to almost go back, reset, probably get the jitters out in this practice and go, all right, I can finally calm down. I'm gonna go out there. I can go 2-3 here and cut off some time.
Yeah, and the other thing, if she doesn't cut off the time and don't make it in the 40, at least she's still racing, and she'll have one race under her belt and go to Atlanta next week, and that's when you start, each race, it's like a ladder. You just want one step at a time. Let's just one step at a time take it.
Speaking of one step at a time, you're really stepping up your media game this week, man. You got your own column on supercrosslive.com. Tell us about Will's Word. You having fun with that?
I mean, it's fun. As a kid, I wrote for Moto Playground magazine, and I wrote for Cycle News, and man, I've always liked doing that. So when I got the opportunity to write a blog, I'm like, oh, absolutely. Why not? I always enjoy that kind of stuff. And interacting with my fans is something to me that's just, I don't know, special. And like I said, during the week right now, if I'm not training, not riding, to keep me busy, I'll do anything.
That's awesome, man. You know, we got a brand new website, so we need all the content we can get, so keep it up. And hey, thanks for joining us on Race Day
Thanks a
Live,
lot,
man.
guys.
You
Yeah,
killed it.
we know you're busy. The A guys
Thanks
are
a
out
lot.
there, and I know you want to watch that group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate you having me, guys, and until next time.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot, Will. There we go.
Vince
250.
Friese.
Yeah, Vince Friese. You know, he
Finished up third in the championship, fourth here in Arlington last weekend.
actually had a chance to win this championship, man. You know, he came into East Rutherford, and if something would have happened to Bogle, he was a legitimate chance to win it. You know, he's super aggressive, somewhat controversial, but he does have speed. Tony Alessi said he really loves his bike, and we could look for him to, you know, maybe be a fantasy, you know, top 5 pick.
Well, and we talked it as we're going to look at number 37 there, Joey Savacci right now in the Monster Energy Pro Circuit bike, but getting back to Vince Friese, I like what he did when he kind of filled in for Mike Alessi when Mike's knee was hurting in Oakland. Got a couple races under your belt.
Sure
Unlike
did.
Joey Savacci, this is going to be his first race, as well as
Arnaud Tonis.
Tonis, his teammate
Yeah.
there.
I'll be learning it with you, buddy. Yeah, I haven't quite memorized all the 250 East yet.
Well, I was thinking Bogle. Bogle,
Oh,
this is the
Bogle,
first time
yeah.
we're going to see him,
Right.
you know, ride. We've seen Martin Davalos, you know, a little bit on that West Coast on a 450, but
Yeah, Davalos, you know, he's got to keep that hole shot streak alive for his team. There we go, Jeremy Martin and Davalos. Martin, you know, I didn't talk about it on his tracker interview because I didn't really want to bum him out. I can't believe the guy missed the first 2 main events of last year's season. How did that happen?
well, and you look at it too. You talk about that, you know, missing those first rounds there. He finished up 10th in the championship last year, but he finished up with a high note in Las Vegas,
Won the
getting his
last-
first of his career there. So, I mean, with that being said, and coming out and dominating the outdoor, you would think that this guy's just going to dominate here like Cooper Webb out on the West Coast.
Right.
We'll see.
I saw some video footage of Jeremy riding at their Supercross track in California. His corners are unbelievably fast, and he really looks like he brought that outdoor game back to Supercross. There's Friese, though. He looks really good. Like we said, we're probably going to see guys, you know, jumping forward. Wow, sending it out there into the flats. That looked really fast. Let's see what his lap is here, Jim. He's coming up to the checkered flag here.
This is that wall jump that we said right there.
Yeah.
There it goes. Does he bump up? Yes,
Third.
he did. Third.
Check out the Swiss guy leading these guys around with the
Tonis.
52.7.
Arnaud, right?
Arnaud Tonis, that's
Arnaud
it.
Tonis.
And then Marvin Musquin. There's RJ Hampshire there making his Supercross debut. Good kid there, baseball player
unfortunate-
like your sons.
Yeah, unfortunate for his teammate not being able to be here. I'm talking about Jordan Smith. Had surgery on his, it was his right hand up on the top there.
Boxer's
and,
fracture,
Boxer's fracture, and hopefully, you know, he says, maybe a couple more weeks. So possibly we'll see him at the second Atlanta, which would be round 3.
Oh, Hampshire here, you know, he's a good story. He dominated Loretta Lynn's, came out and, you know, did pretty good in the outdoors. Comes into here with a lot of practice. He's working with Tim Ferry, who actually is working with Trey Canard also. So anybody Tim and Ferry's been working with lately has been winning races. Hampshire's going to be fast tonight. Whoa, as he tripled there. I was afraid he uncorked the quad, but tripled in there. So let's go through our top 5 here. We got Jeremy Martin leading it. Matthew Lemoyne, there's a Texas guy. He's followed by Davalos and Musquin. That's your top 5 right now. It's shaking around quite a bit, though.
Yeah, and you mentioned Lemoyne there. Actually finished up 11th in the points, but he had a podium last year.
Yeah.
I believe it was in
Sure did.
Detroit. So good to see him, and he knows, hey, this is my hometown race here. I got to perform.
240 there is Bryce Stewart from Canyon Lake, California. There's Friese again.
You know, you talk about Vince Friese. Last year, he wanted to have some podiums. I know that this year, in 2015, he wants to have some wins.
It's going to be tough. You know, he's super aggressive. He's got speed. Tony Alessi said he's happy with these bikes. Says it's the fastest 250 up he's ever raced. So, I'll tell you what, though, when I was talking to Mitch Payton this morning, I said, "Hey, Mitch, did you see the start?" And he just looked at me and kind of smiled. You know, he said the motors are really, really good on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit 250s right now.
Now, there's a guy we haven't seen in over a year in Supercross, Marvin Musquin, number 6 there. Jeremy Martin taking that, he won the championship in the outdoors, so you get a single digit there. One of Steve Lamson's old number, and Steve Lamson over there helping the Star Racing Yamalu team.
I'm telling you, watch his corners. Watch Martin's, wow. That's, you know, Martin spent a lot of time riding with Ricky Carmichael, and if you practice with RC, you're going to run out of gas practicing corners, period. That's what Ricky's mantra always has been.
Well, I think that, you know, if you can get in the corner and get out of the corner fast, that's half the battle. That's where you're looking for those tenths.
Right.
If you have a course like we have here, there's a lot of turns out there. You start adding up tenths in turns, that equals into
7
seconds.
corners. You know, if you get 1/10 in every corner, with those 7 corners, that's almost a second. You know, times 15 laps, you got a big lead.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, everyone can pretty much do the triples out there. Some of the timing sections are a little hard. The whoops you can gain some speed on, but although these guys are making quick work of it there, as we're watching 55, I believe, out there with my eyes, that's Kyle Peters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they say, Jim, jump for show, corner for dough. It's kind of a dorky cliche, but it really rings true with motor racing. Peters there, he's lists his sponsors as, well, he doesn't list any, but he comes to us from Greensboro, North Carolina. He's ridden a lot of arena crosses himself there, Kyle Peters has. And it's shaken up here in the top 5. Marvin Musquin jumps to the top with the 52-1, followed by Lemoyne. Lemoyne's really showing some speed right here. You know, it's surprising to see that. He's second with the 52-2, and Martin's with the 52-8. You know, 52-28, followed by Savacci and Bogle so far. That's your top 5.
Yeah, you mentioned Bogle there in 5th. You know, just probably this one taking it easy because it's been a while since he's been out on the course.
Yeah, and you know, we'll see how his shoulder is and his fitness and stuff. And this is an 8-round series. It's a short series. You know, if you finish outside the top 10 with as much competition that's in this class, you're in big trouble. You know, look what Cooper Webb did. He never finished outside of the top 7 through 6 rounds. So
Starling right there, number 77 out there,
number.
Looking good.
Yeah.
You like that number? You're pulling for Starling tonight.
Always been number 77. That's the year I was born, and me and my brothers were 77, 79, 81. So every time I see number 77 out there, I always try to, you know, root for that guy a little bit harder.
That looks good. Big kid too.
He is a big kid. Yeah. There's the Ripper there, the Ripper, however you want to say it.
Jimmy Dakotas.
Yeah.
He's probably pretty happy the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's got to be happy about a lot of things. You know, he's got his own team going there with that Harley-Davidson dealership. He's actually being trained by Gary Bailey, and I was walking with Gary Bailey on a track walk this morning, and you know, he expects some big things out of Jimmy. One thing that Dakotas is good at, there's a lot of things he's good at, but he really gets good starts.
Well, so that's half the battle. I mean, we saw him last year leading a lot of these things. Last year he finished up 7th in the championship, but his best finish was Las Vegas in the finals on the Blue Groove hard drive track, where he finished up 5th.
Right.
I thought at one point he was going to have a couple podiums, but had some crashes, so I'm sure that's what Gary Bailey's kind of working with him, kind of slow him down a little bit as we're watching Kyle Peters now navigate that timing section, that right-hander up and over that big triple there. You notice they're just seat hopping that. They're sitting on that seat and just letting it roll around the corner, letting that rear shock compress and just rebound them up and over that thing.
And folks, with just about a minute to go, look who's up at the top again, number 200, Tonis. You know, that's pretty surprising there. It's first American Supercross.
Seeing some yellow flags out there. A couple of one of the guys off the track there. That looks like Gasario there, I think.
And your top 5 is Tonis, Musquin, Lemoyne, Martin, and Bogle. You know, they're all separated by, wow, not very much, just a couple hundredths of a second, a couple tenths.
How cool would that be for Mitch Payton if he can get, well, there's Marvin up to the top now. He broke into the 51.0. That's a whole half a second faster than Tonis.
That's a fast lap. You know, business is picking up. Tomac's fastest lap was a 50.8 earlier on the 450. So these guys,
I think by the time they get out for this, their final time practice, I think they'll break into the 50s. I think the track's going to get a little bit better. Sure. The Dirtworks guys get a chance to, the Feld track crew guys get a chance to go out there and going in there.
I'll back that up, Jim. They're definitely going to drop a second. You know, they're about 7 to 8 seconds slower than they have been in the last 4 or 5 weeks. But you know, the track's got more speed in it. I don't think it's any shorter of a track. It's just a faster track.
Well, I was going to say with Tonis, you know, how cool would it be if he wins his first as a rookie,
right,
and then back-to-back rookies have won Arlington? You got to go back to last year with Adam Cianciarillo being
right,
a rookie, winning his first. I don't think a lot of guys went to a stadium back-to-back rookies.
Team owner-wise, yeah. No, that'd be quite the monument there.
I'm really impressed with Matthew Lemoyne, though. I know he's got speed, and he always has good qualifying times. The thing about it is if he can translate that into good starts, and here's the thing about it with most of these guys out here that are in the A group, they're mental guys. I mean, if they don't have a good heat race or something, sometimes they carry that into the main event and they get a bad start order. But if they win a heat race, that just gives them so much more confidence to know, as well as either the first or gate pick for that main event too.
It's going to be good. That's, you know, looking at that top 10 right there, that's pretty deep. Lemoyne doesn't have the luxury of running for one of the powerhouse teams either. He's not on a factory-backed team, so that to go out there and show that kind of speed in this practice against these guys is solid. That'll do it for 250 Group A practice number 1. We'll drop a couple words from our sponsors here. Attention race fans, check out the reigning national motocross champion YZ250F and new 2015 YZ450F 4-strokes at YamahaMotorsports.com today. And if you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. Going to podium here, ladies and gentlemen.
First time racing in a long time Supercross, so my last race was Vegas in 13, so it's been over a year for sure, but I feel great. I have an awesome team behind me, so this is only practice, so we see tonight.
Quick thoughts on the track right now.
Track stuff, the whoops are falling apart and it's get some square edges and it's really technical, so tonight should be better.
And how about this team? What are you guys going to work on between this qualifying and the next qualifying?
Well, obviously not much. Just gotta do my job.
Is your body 100% after having that ACL and missing all of 2014?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I came back for outdoors last year, so yeah, I'm good.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you racing again. One more time for the Red Bull KTM rider, Marvin
Musquin, yeah.
He looks good.
He does look good.
Confident. You just hear him in his interview.
You can see
He's
it in
ready.
his smile. Yeah.
It's my job. I'm not going to change nothing with the bike. It's my job.
I like Marvin. You know, it's cool to see a Euro come over and have some fan support too. A lot of times, the French, you know, attitude and their demeanor doesn't translate well with our American fans. But everybody seems to like him. And well, here we go, Jim. 450 practice number 1, Group A, the big boys.
Yeah, getting a chance to watch Blake Baggett there. Blake Baggett, not a bad ride last weekend there. You know, finished up 7th. Had some crashes, but riding well. Had to go through the last chance race to get that factory Yoshimura Suzuki in the main event. There's that triple single. He's going to make that left-hander jump back out on the start. He pulls the trigger there, and now it's a drag race.
There's going to be a lot of passing going on there. Some block passes headed into that tight right-hander. And I like how the wall jump slows them down before the finish line. Before they fixed that last night, it wasn't as steep, and they were kind of doubling into that section. So,
yeah, I mean, they got to do something to slow down the boys. I mean, they're you know, you're talking 51.8 now for Josh Grant right now, Dungey of 52.0, but those are going to drop down. I wouldn't be surprised if they get into the 49s here.
I wouldn't be either. You know, that's going to be getting around pretty fast, but they'll definitely be in the 50s. And Kenny Roczen, you know, jumps out there, wins the first round, second at their second round, wins the third round, and then disaster struck at Oakland. But he bounced back with a 4th and then a 2nd place finish in San Diego. He's not going anywhere, Jim. He's going to be here for, you know, the whole series.
Yeah, he'll be there. You know, somebody was telling me, I'm not sure if it was who was telling me this, but they said that he didn't realize that it was the last lap in San Diego. He thought he had some more in the tank last week.
It was pretty cool watching him and Trey go at it. You know, Baggett here came from way outside the top 10 up to 5th place last weekend, then had a little bit of a mishap on a jump and bent his shifter and rode the last 2 laps in first gear.
Yeah, that's hard.
Dungey showed some speed in his first practice earlier today here. He was on top of the board right until the very, very end when Roczen and Tomac got him, but pretty impressive.
Well, and you got to remember that Dungey has some wins here in Arlington too, so he knows he likes Texas, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, those stats I gave out earlier when Will was on the show, going back to 2010, which he won, Dungey hasn't finished off the podium here in Texas, so I don't think he's going to finish off the podium tonight either.
Yeah, and you look at it, you know, a second last year, Stewart winning last year, Dungey, Barsha, Villapoto, Brayton, Roczen 6th, Tickle 7th, Hahn, Will, who's on the show, in that 8th, and Josh Hill in that 9th, and Andrew Short 10th. That was the results of the top 10 from last year. So, you know, there's a couple of those guys out. I'm sure that he wants to redeem himself. Kenny Roczen with a win, and you know, like I said, that 6th last year here, he wasn't happy with it. So we're watching Weimer.
Weimer's been pretty solid this year. Hasn't had a whole shot, or you know, hasn't even had a top 3 or a top 5 start, but he's ridden well. Scratched around the top 10. You know, he's found a home there with Team Tedder. But this guy right here, it's 7 rounds into the series here today, and Tomac has to get wins. He's 27 points out of the championship right now, so he's got to go. You know, I think he was the guy to win last weekend, and then unfortunately he got into the scrape with Reed. But
well, and I think that he knows he should have won last week, but he had some problems like you mentioned with that screen. But he said that Reed touched him first. So he was just, you know, it was a racing deal. But for him to get back, he was way back in there and work up and finish 4th. Not bad, but like you said, he lost a couple more points to Dungey. That's the thing. Dungey got 3rd, 20 points. He got a 5th, 16. Dungey gains 4 more points on him.
Yeah, it's tough. If you're not winning races, you're losing points to the guys that are really close to you. So, and Tickle, you know, Tickle he missed a week with a back injury, and then comes back and jumps right back into the top 10 in San Diego last weekend. So he's been impressive all year. You talk about guys that have been impressive. You know, he's impressed me. Blake Baggett's impressed me. Tickle can get the job done.
And he's on a heater right now. I'm curious to see where he's at. Tickle, he looks like this one. Here's down in 19th. Let's see. This is going to bring him up. He had a 52.
14th.
Now he's 14th now with a 52-2. So then you're going to see he's kind of on a cool down lap right now. And you're going to see Anderson come into the picture. Tickle staying out of the way.
And so far, your top 5 is Canard, Roczen, Dungey, Millsaps, and Andrew Short. Davey Millsaps is another guy that's going to be back tonight. You know, if there's going to be some shakeup at the Big 4 with Roczen, Tomac, Dungey, and Canard, Millsaps could jump in there.
Well, I thought it was going to happen last week in that heat race as we're watching him get a chance kind of adjusting his gloves there. You know, he had a great start in the heat race, was leading it. Tomac comes up and passes him, but you know, then he just kind of said, oh, well, I guess I'm going to get second there. In the main, he was up there, and then he had a crash, and you know, things just materialized. But he's down there talking to Mike Williamson, his mechanic. Mike's down there going to make a shock adjustment on the rear shock. These guys are just making minimal changes. I mean, just maybe a click or 2 on the compression, maybe a click or 2 on the rebound. That's about it. I mean, they're not adjusting shocks or ride height or anything like that. It's just a couple clicks of the, you know, turn the screwdriver, and that's it.
I think the track looks good. I think
there's that 49.4. I knew they were going to dip in there.
Wow.
Now will they get into the? You talked about it earlier. In the next, the final time practice, will they get into the 48s? It's possible.
That's you know, over a half a second faster than the next guy. Roczen just threw down a crazy fast lap.
They've still got a little time left. About 2:48 left in this practice session here, so they're still out there putting it to it. Kenny going to kind of roll around now.
Kenny's another guy that I like to watch corner, you know, especially the right-handed corners. When he's on a heater and he's going for it, right-handed corners are the most difficult because you can't use your rear brake. You got to commit, get your leg out, set the bike, and go. Watch Kenny. This track has predominantly right-handed corners. That's going to play into his favor tonight.
Yeah, he's just kind of taking it easy. It looks like he's kind of looking for an opening out there and seeing where he can go and, you know, get a good, clean track out there. I want to welcome back Weston Pike. It's good to see Weston Pike back.
Me too.
Got a chance to talk to him. I know you talked to him earlier on the track walk, but he says, hey, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he's able to ride his road bike a little bit. He's not exactly ready for, dancing or anything. A foot injury hurts, but he said he could ride his road bike and get his heart rate up. And
he better be ready to dance tonight, that's for sure, because, it's go time. But I asked him, I said, how many days you got on the motorcycle? And he said, I got about 3 days underneath me. So I said, it's not like you forgot how to ride a motorcycle, so he'll be fine out there.
Millsaps, he came in there, didn't look too happy with his mechanic. He was shaking his head a little bit. He's got a fast lap on the board. He's fallen down to 8th place right now. The top 5 shook up. It's Roczen, Tomac, Canard, Dungey, and Seeley right now in the top 5. Those 3 Hondas are in the top 5 again, Jim, and they were making some talk about maybe sweeping the podium last weekend. They have the ability to do it with Seeley, Canard, and Tomac. That could be a podium just as easy as anything else.
Well, and you look at it, Canard's got 2 wins, Tomac's got 1 win, Seeley's got a podium with a 2nd. The Hondas are working good, and I think that's something that I look forward to in the 3rd round when we're in Atlanta. Well, 3rd round for the East Coast, but sitting down, we do those pieces where I like to sit down with the guys. You do some, I do some, but I'm going to talk to Dan Bentley, and I just want to know that the involvement with HRC. I kind of see a different Honda factory team this year.
Oh yeah, the HRC involvement is absolutely evident. There's not only is things more successful, but it seems like the whole vibe over there is more professional and still fun. They all seem like they're getting along well together. They like the bike. They like the extra help. It's really working in their favor. Honda wants that championship back in a bad way.
Well,
it's been a while.
Trey Canard's not out of it. By all means. He's still in it, and if he can win tonight and Dungey gets a 5th, he'll pick up another 5 more points, and he could possibly be 13 behind going into Atlanta. There's Trey right there going through the whoops, looks good, hits that double, carries the momentum. Woo, bike's dancing a little bit, but once it starts going left, right, you better pin that throttle and try to straighten that thing out.
Yeah, they're not jumping 4 into there yet. I think they will later on,
Yeah, maybe. I think it's that wrist thing that Will was talking about. Yeah. You got that left-hander, and if you miss, you're going to go over that berm, and there's another section right there. So, I don't know if it's,
look at that
worth
view,
it.
right? Sorry to cut you off.
Beautiful.
Look at that. The people are, you guys can't see what we're looking at, but there's the gates outside. There are people lined up 10 deep to get in here to watch practice and qualifying here at AT&T Stadium. This is awesome. This is the best environment I think we've had in the year so far. San Diego was cool last weekend, but we got sunburned. But this is really special. This is going to be a great show today and tonight on Fox Sports 2, broadcasting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Fox Sports 2 tonight. It's a little bit of a transition there. Still Fox Sports, but on Fox Sports 2 tonight for the broadcast. There's your top 5. Go ahead.
I'm going to let you take it. I'm going to grab your pen. I want to write these times down.
Yeah, it's Roczen, Tomac, Canard, Dungey, Seeley, Anderson, Baggett, Millsaps, Chad Reed, and Andrew Short are your top 10. Man, it's tough. Those guys are so close together in speed. Within a second, the same second, you got the top 4 within, a second and 1/10. So it's going to be good tonight. I already got goosebumps on my arms just from the vibe. Everybody coming in, so excited to watch this qualifying stuff.
Well, and the thing that I noticed is you got 2 guys right now, and you're looking at Roczen and Tomac. Those are the guys that have broken under that 50-second barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. We're gonna go down.
The track's awesome. We finally have some really good traction, and really happy with the bike. And seems like today, I'm feeling really good, and it seems like I'm on it. So I'm really happy, and everybody behind me that's been doing a great job trying to figure out the bike and helping me every week.
A long run of whoops in that last section. Are those things breaking down? Marvin Musquin said they're starting to get a little square-edged.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to get a bit square-edged, but the dirt makes it awesome and fun to ride out there. So everything should be super good for the night show.
Well, congratulations. 1 qualifying session down. He's the fastest one so far. Can he make it happen in qualifying session number 2? One more time for the 94 RC8 Soaring Eagle Casino ride of Ken Roczen.
Thanks so much.
Well, there you go, Andy. You heard it. All the guys are really enjoying this new dirt out there in Arlington, Texas there, and
it's good to hear.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm glad they made a change and got some new dirt.
Well, it's just refreshing to hear the riders so positive about the tracks and the design and the dirt. It takes a lot of effort. I remember a story, months ago, Dave Prater had a bunch of dirt on his desk, and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, looking for dirt for Texas." He had 5 or 6 different samples, and what they ended up coming up with, obviously, is looking good, working good. The riders like it. And here we go. Here's Nick Schmidt, the milestone assassin, out here at 450B, qualifying number 1.
Yeah, you talk about that dirt, and I think that this dirt lends itself, and you've raced here as well as I have in Texas, to the type of soil that's to this region. It's a natural type of a soil where that other stuff. I mean, when I first came to Texas, I thought, oh yeah, it's hard, dry. It's just like out west, and I thought they got some rain here. You had some loam and things like that, but this dirt here is great.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just like Will said when we were amateurs coming up at racing at Will Rogers Arena. This is what the dirt was like. At Guthrie, this is what the dirt was like. So it's more typical of what it would naturally be here in Texas. It was just getting so hard packed in the last couple years. When they would water it would just turn into this like rubberish, concrete where the knobby marks would be permanently left in the face of the jumps. This stuff looks good.
It's like Aaron. Is that
181 there?
That's Aaron Pipes.
Dustin Pipes.
Yeah. Oh, Dustin. That's Aaron.
Like, yeah.
I'm thinking of Dustin
okay.
Pipes. I'm still waiting for him to make his first main event of his career in that 450 class. He's well overdue, just if he can get a good start.
That looks like Chad Cook right there, I believe. Local boy there from Oklahoma. Cook, he has his sponsors here, TPJ, Fly Racing, and Shawnee Honda.
Nice jump there. Let's see if everyone's tripling in. Yeah, see, that was good. I mean, he kind of tripled in, landed, and got to that outside, bounced him into the corner. Yeah. I'm not so sure if they're going to quad that, though.
Yeah, I don't know what like you say, risk reward, what's to gain there and what's to lose, so.
42 there, that's Ben LeMay. He's got a new ride now. It's actually got a plane wrap. I don't see no logos on that motorcycle.
It might be kind of a statement there, kind of similar to what Michael Lieb was doing in the 250 West. He's like, hey, I got advertisement.
He's doing it with his motorcycle.
Yeah.
There's the Wiley veteran, Nick Way, number 27. Nick having an okay season, hasn't made all the main events, but needless to say, he's there each and every weekend, and he does great for the sport.
Oh yeah, he's still out there going for it. I like what he does for opening ceremonies when he goes out with the microphone mic'd up and his helmet and talks about the track and stuff. I really like the way that they do that and help bring the fans into the track.
Yeah, he's sitting right now 25th, 11 points. And like I said, he made Anaheim 2, and he made San Diego last weekend. So I know out of the 6 rounds, 2 main events, 4 not making it. I know he's not happy with that.
And folks, the AMSOIL products that help put racers in the winner's circle are the same products available to you. AMSOIL makes a full line of oils not only for your power sports toys, but also for cars and trucks you drive. Choose AMSOIL Performance for any engine. That's Alexander Nagy there, number 509 from Illinois. He's been banging on the door, and getting in the night shows. He was in the 250C group, or the 450C group, and now he's gotten faster and he's in the 450B group now.
Yeah, Nagy, he's been around a while. I've kind of had my eye on this guy. He's reminds me a lot like last year with Ronnie Stewart, just kind of right there on the bubble, getting into those main events. The last chance race is huge for him, but there's a rider that just blew right by him, and that was Killian Rusk,
right?
Number 58, and he rode really well in that semi last week. He squared back down under. Remember, it was that triple coming in, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been Brock Tickle that jumped and made that pass, and he squared up underneath him, and he came away with his that win there in the semi. But Killian Rusk doing a fine job this year in 2015, where you got about 4 minutes left. But you look at Killian Rusk there, and I'm just kind of looking. He's made 2 main events so far, and like I said, it was Oakland and Anaheim. So he falls into that category of Nick Way, where it's he's got a couple main events, but he'd like to have a lot more. And Ronnie Stewart, his first main event last weekend, You know, these guys are all used to being into that main event.
Like we talked about last weekend, Jim, you know, we've had some guys fall out. Weston's back, but, you know, Will Hahn's out, Brayton's out. There's some guys that are out, and it allows the opportunities for those guys to get in. You know, it gives them a better chance. I don't want to say allows the opportunity, but it does give them a better chance. As you're watching number 501 here, Scotty Winterstrom from Jefferson, Texas.
He's another Texas kid, Scotty.
Back to Cook there. You know, he's been around a long time because I've raced Chad Cook, and I haven't raced in 15 years. So Cook's still out there going for it, and I mean, I haven't raced Supercross with him for 15 years. I still ride a little bit, just like you do.
We have to do an interview with Cook. You and maybe look for him in Atlanta, do a little track walk interview with him. Tell him, hey man, I remember, when you gonna hang it up?
Yeah. Then there's Tevin Tapia there. He's been at it for a long time, and he's snuck into a few main events himself.
Yeah, Tevin Tapia. He's one of those guys that. You know, he doesn't have to put the pressure on him. His girlfriend's put the pressure on him, telling me he's riding bad if he's not making that main event. Yeah, those whoops are starting to get a little cupped out. You see some of those spots right there, you know, getting cupped out, and the guys have to start moving around now. That's what I'm going to see with this track. You know, it wouldn't surprise me in the main event if we see these guys start to move around a couple times and move into different lines.
Hey, motocross fans, the 2015 Yamaha YZ450F just won 2 major shootouts in Cycle News and Trans World Motocross. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com today. And DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes.
Yeah, I can't, you know, the floodgates have kind of opened up here. We're right in the main entrance here with the back behind us. A lot of
people,
friends and people checking us out, coming by and saying hi and things like that. It's just great. I think this kind of, you know, more so than I saw it at Anaheim for round 1, you know, at the start of the 2015
this
season. This is
the
huge.
Biggest influx of fans for practice and qualifying as we've had for, you know, for 7 weeks. This is awesome. You know, like I kind of wrote about in my column, though, who doesn't want to come check out AT&T Stadium? This place is cool. You know, there's so much to do, and just even the artwork inside here in the concourse is amazing. This place is cool.
Yeah, you just saw Nick Way there, just kind of taking a little cool down lap there, but Nick Way jumps up to the top with a 52.8, 7.5.
With just about 1 minute to go, your top 5 is Nick Way, Nick Schmidt, Ben LeMay, Adam Enticknap, and Clausen is in your top 5.
There's Adam Enticknap right now. Big boy just getting through the whoops. You talk about a guy riding a bull. Adam Enticknap riding that Honda like it's a bull. He's a big boy. He doesn't take nothing from that motorcycle. And I think he's on a heater. Let's see if he can move up from that 54.0. He looks like he's on a fast lap right now. Let's see from the wall jump there. You're going to do that. A couple little ruts developing. See, did he move up?
He's still 4th place there.
Yeah, 53.6.
53.6.
So not bad.
You know, there's some guys here in this practice that are going to get in the main event. You know, Schmidt has a chance, Way has a chance, LeMay, Enticknap, he's been in there. Rusk, obviously, we talked about, has been in the main event.
Yeah, 314, Alex Ray, not a bad position for him there, for Alex Ray in that eighth spot. So that's good to see Alex Ray up in there. There's Way now. He's just kind of rolling around. See, he didn't triple that. He just double singled there. He sees his number 27 up on top of that Monster Energy leaderboard. He knows. He's trying something right now. He might be trying a different little section in the whoops, that last lap, you know.
And we want to thank all you guys for tuning in, you know, all over the country, all over the world. You know, send us pictures of yourself, send us use the hashtags, Supercross on Fox, Race Day Live, you know, Fox Sports 1. Take Fox Sports 2, actually. Take your photos and send them to us, and we'll put you on the front page of our website. You know, we hope you're enjoying the show today, and tomorrow morning we're going to broadcast the 3rd episode of Monster Energy Supercross Behind the Dream. that's that's been a really interesting show that they've had. Last weekend they featured Ken Roczen. This week they're going to feature Ryan Dungey and his ascent to the top of the 450 championship points. It's going to be cool to look, further behind the scenes there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how, I mean, we've been around the sport a long time, but I enjoy watching those because it gives you a little in-depth about the personality and what these guys go through each and every week to prepare themselves to come out here and race on a Saturday night and perform for all the fans. But I really enjoy it. It shows, what kind of work ethic the guy has and how hard he's working to try and win a championship.
Yeah, it's cool to see him at home and see him on their home practice tracks and see him at their gym. Those behind-the-scene images are stuff that few people can really go, and now it's going to be, on your television set to see what those guys do. So definitely cool.
Yeah, it's the third round of that series there. So let's take a look at the promo.
Yeah, check it out.
On the next episode of Behind the Dream, we'll go inside Ryan Dungey's camp and get up close and personal with this former champion whose sights are firmly locked on the championship. We'll check out his family life, his hardcore training regimen, and his secrets for staying so focused.
Ryan Dungey, smooth, solid, consistent. Come on!
This is what a champion is about, okay?
Yeah, it's going to be a good show, and as we saw there with Carlos Rivera, he was the MMI Top Tech mechanic, and you were able to go ahead and talk to him and conduct a nice interview. So let's go ahead and check that out.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live, presented by AMSO. Well, Carlos Rivera, you're a graduate of MMI, and you're leading the points. You and Ryan Dungey here, and you picked up $1,000 from MMI, the top tech here tonight at Anaheim.
Hey, I'm happy that MMI does this program for all the mechanics. I was graduated in Orlando, Florida, from their campus there. Their school is really good. It gave me a lot of the help to be where I'm at now, and I can do it without a Dungey. I mean, he's a really awesome race, but I try to keep his machine running really well, and I think I'm happy for MMI to give us this opportunity to be here.
You got a busy week. I mean, each and every week, a lot of the guys don't know what the people go through as far as the mechanics. I mean, this bike will come completely down, and it'll be like a brand new bike come next week in San Diego, Petco Park.
Yeah, that's correct. The work just begin now. This is the day of racing. It's like an easy day for us sometime, Monday morning, this bike will be completely stripped apart and then rebuild back again, and we'll be back at it.
What do you do with the $1,000? You can take Roger DeCosta or Ian Harrison, some of the guys out. Are you going to buy lunch Monday morning?
I'm going to have to buy some pizza for them, for sure.
Some late nights at the shop down there.
Oh, for sure. We do a lot of late nights, and Roger's always buys pizza for us and keep us there, but it's a good team to be around.
Well, congratulations on the MMI Top Tech mechanic here at Anaheim.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, here we are back on track with 450C qualifying number 1. Trying to see if these guys can get in that fast 40 and get into the night show. It's what they're going for. I think there's 50 of them today, Jim, isn't there? So only 10 guys are going to go home.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen a little bit of a trend like that out west in that 450. Not a lot of, more 250 guys out there. As one of the riders just kind of got hung up with another guy coming out of that turn. I'm not sure who that was, 9-something. I'll have to look and see. But, Bannister out there, Church, all the guys, Pulley. It's good to see those guys out there. White, Harrison, Harmon, Ashburn, all these guys, just trying to get into that 40 fastest.
Jim, going back to that interview you did with Carlos has been with him ever since Ryan Dungey went to the KTM organization. And they won the national championship with Roczen on the 450, but Dungey and Rivera really want to get a championship together. This looks like their best opportunity to do it. They're on their way, but they seem like they got really good chemistry.
Yeah, I think that, Roger and Ian Harrison and all the guys, Pitt Buyer, all the guys know that, this is what they want. They've got championships in the 250 Supercross, and they've won races in the 450 Supercross, but they have not got that championship in the 450. They've had outdoor championships. They really want this Supercross championship.
Right. Yeah, that's evident. It looks like the bike's working good, Dungey's working good. But let's go ahead and go through the rundown here at 450C qualifying number 1. It is Harrison there. I think Harrison is a Texas guy. Let's go ahead and confirm that. He's from, no, Alabama. He's from the South here. So Heath Harrison's out front, followed by Archer, Weisbrush, Church, and Bannister is your top 5.
Yeah, and you're going to look at some of that with Harrison, you know, that last lap of 56.2. Yeah, that's a pretty good time. Hopefully that's enough to get him into the top 40 fastest. I know that, you know, they'd like to try to get into the 54s if they can. That's a lot to drop off a couple seconds for these guys, but at least a second.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back up. Always good to see him back up.
Oh,
boy,
here we're going to see a
replay.
replay in the whoops.
There it went. Lost the. Ooh.
Well, and what happened there is, you know, he started to get out of shape and he kind of checked up and went to throw away the bike. He didn't want to turn the throttle and he didn't want to wrestle and fight with it.
Right. That was right there. That was a product of what Marvin Musquin was talking about. They're getting cupped out and they're getting different edges. And we were watching number 282 here. That was Theodore Pauly from Illinois, and he lost his front end, got on the side of one of those ridges, and it went sideways. It's just hard to correct that. You know, if you're not fully committed and wide open, if that front tire shakes, you kind of got to go in wherever the bike's taking you.
Well, and it's a little unfair. I mean, not unfair, but these guys are in the C group. This track's starting to break down. You heard Marvin talk about it. You heard Kenny Roczen talk about it. Now you hand it off to the C guys, and they're going, oh man. But you know, on the flip side of that, they rotate. I mean, it's just you know.
Wow, this guy just crushed
blitzed it.
That's Tony Archer from Maryland. That's how you go through the whoops right there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care if you're at B, C, or A. That was getting through the whoops fast.
Hey, he's on a hot lap right now. Let's see what he does here. See there, he elected not to jump out, just to kind of roll that jump. He's going to come into this right-hander. You're going to see a couple little turns here. Then you're going to see this corner up here, and you're going to see a lot of 5 minutes to go in this one. Let's see.
Absolutely.
There it is, Archer, right up
top.
to the top. See, and that's what we're talking about, that 55.3. You know, if they can get into the 54s, possibly the 50, but it all starts with the whoops. Bannister was on Archer was on a hot lap that last one.
Yeah, this trip through the whoops right there was one of the better ones I've seen all day, like I said, in any group. So, good for him. 284, Cody Church. He's from Grand Junction, Colorado. He's been out there trying to get into the main event, get into the night shows this year.
Really working that bike here. We're going to see Cody get a chance to go through the whoops here. Let's see how he does it. That double there. Not bad.
Not bad.
The other rider that lost, I think he just kind of checked up a little early and just, he didn't really want to ride that motorcycle through the whole whoops. I think he could have saved. There's that triple single right-hander up and over there. Let's see how Church does. See, now he jumps out, gets back on the throttle. He's got his upper body up over there, trying to get maximum traction as they race into this corner. Let's see if he can jump up from that 6th spot.
He does, up to 3rd. Up to 3rd. That's what I like about qualifying and watching it. You can tell in their mannerisms and the way they're attacking. Like, this dude's on a heater, he's going for it.
And now he's on a cool down lap.
Yeah.
They can't put together a couple laps. They gotta they get that heart rate up there about 180 or so, then they bring it back down again, and they just I gotta take a lap to get my heart rate back down, and then I'll pick it back up again.
You gotta get it back together a little bit. But no, those guys are riding good. A 55-second ain't bad. That's Archer at the front, 55.1. We have about 3 minutes to go here in this 450C practice, qualifying group number 1. It's Archer, Harrison, Church, Weisbruch, and White.
Yeah, I'm thinking Archer, I think by the time that he comes around with that confidence that he has, I think that he'll be able to, you know, drop that thing into the 54s. I think, you know, with that being said, you know, he's riding with a lot of confidence right now.
That's Kyle White on your screen right now, looking pretty good. Kyle White is from Freeport, Illinois. That's, you know, that's 3 guys from Illinois we have here. So there were some fast guys from Illinois. I think was Billy Fosnock, Junior Jackson, those guys like that.
Junior Jackson, yeah. Some of, you know, you look at some of these guys, when you see them, they're entering into the whoops on the far left-hand side. I'm not seeing too many guys go in the middle, not seeing too many guys go to the right, and I think that they need to start moving around a little bit.
Well, they're going to have to. As they get chewed up and get more cupped out, they're going to be forced to try to move around and find a good spot that's comfortable, because you can just see these guys already starting to really, really struggle. And the whoops are kind of tough. You know, when they go and prep the track and work on it, you don't typically see the Feld track crew get in there and you know, manicure the whoops too much.
No, but I think they will tonight. I think they're going to have a little bit of time. I think that the track, you know, the dirt is a little bit easier to work with. You got to remember on some of those blue groove tracks, it's hard to, you know, get in there and break up the ground and repack it and get it right again. I think this one here tonight in Arlington, they might do a couple of them. I don't know if they'll get a chance. It's a time thing.
2:52 there is Kevin Weisbrich from Murrieta, California. No sponsors listed, but
he's sitting pretty good right now. Weisbrich on sitting in third right now. Some of the ruts starting to develop coming out of the corners there. You know, when have you seen an Arlington track with ruts in the corners? You know, usually it's just a
hard pack. Baked in there. And coming to join us here soon is going to be defending 250 East champion Justin Bogle. It's going to be fun to have him on the show. Always awesome to have these guys, the factory riders, come up and stuff. Yeah.
Get a chance to talk to him and ask him exactly how he likes that dirt in Arlington. Bogle, you know, just getting a chance to get out there and kind of get his feet. So it's just, it's good. But, you know, like I said, Archer and Harrison right now, they're kind of setting a precedent. Hopefully they can drop that down into the 54s, and that may have a chance to get them into the night program with the 40 fastest out there.
Sure,
you know, with those guys, and they're trying to look. I mean, they're on a heater right now. Harrison looks like. Is that Harrison? That's 252.
Yeah, 252 there. That's our friend Kevin Weisbrich from Murrieta, California. Been on screen for a while. Yeah, hey, there we go. Justin Bogle, man. Welcome to Race State Live. Thanks for coming up to talk with us. How's it going today?
It's going good so far. On the board in my first practice, so can't complain about that.
You know, we've been talking about the track the whole show. The riders, Ken Roczen said he really likes it. He loves the dirt. How is it, man?
The dirt is awesome this year. Definitely a big change from the past years I've raced here, and it's actually got some ruts for Dallas that's a bit unheard of. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of a tough track. The whoops are getting pretty ate up, so those are going to be pretty tough all night, I think.
Were you surprised when you came in to do the track walk? You're looking, you're going, wow, boy, wait a minute, we got some new dirt here, man.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty surprising coming in and seeing soft dirt and ruts at this point of the day already in Dallas. So, like I said, it's cool. I'm looking forward to the night.
You know, something I talked to Andy earlier about the start of the season last year when you won the championship here in Arlington. You had a fifth there. I know you weren't happy with that. You were trying to just get back into racing yourself, but I mean, you seemed to gain momentum as the season went on, and you wrapped this thing up in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah, last year was a bit of a weird situation with the injuries and all of that stuff, so I came in a bit unprepared, but I was on the gate, so, you know, it's no excuses if I'm on the gate out there, so it's all good. I had to work my way into it.
You know, I didn't tell you this, but after Arlington and a couple of the other rounds, you know, where you weren't on the podium, and Mitch Payton and the Pro Circuit guys were kind of dominating. I saw Bones back there, and I heard him talking. I over-listened here, and he goes, yeah, man, we're looking good. He goes, yeah, but keep an eye on Bogle. I watched him. He got a bad start, and he worked up and finished a fifth, a fourth, or whatever, or got on the box. I mean, they were worried last year, too.
Yeah, last year I really struggled on my starts at the beginning of the year as well, so that was another little monkey wrench in the program, but once I figured that out, it was a lot better. I got my first win after my first hole shot, I believe, so it was tough. It's always stacked, so there was plenty of guys out there, but it makes it tough if you don't get a start.
Well, and you talk about the start, you like when, you know, supercrosslive.com hands you over $1,000 for those starts.
Of course, that is never a bad thing, so.
Well, let's talk about the starts. Look how long this one is here today, and you know, your teammate Matt Biscelli has been pulling some hole shots out in the West. How are the motors in your bikes this year?
I believe our bikes are, if not the fastest, one of the fastest out there. They're incredible. Christian Kibbe is a mastermind behind that thing, and it's incredible. As well as the suspension and chassis and everything this year, with Laraco and working with suspension guys, it's a pretty full package. I'm pretty happy with my bike. Last year I didn't get to test much, so it's pretty cool.
Right. Well, this year you had your shoulder worked on in the off season, and from what I understand, you've been on the bike about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know, give or take.
Right.
I'm not sure how long
and then,
exactly.
You know, you've developed it a little bit there, and then your teammates have gotten it faster, I'm sure, coming up till now. So it's pretty much an ideal situation for you, it seems like.
Yeah, the last couple of years, it's almost a good and a bad thing. Last couple of years I've been injured off season, so coming in, not getting a lot of experience with testing has made it tough. But this year I actually put in some time with the guys, quite a bit and made a lot of progress. So I'm feeling good about it.
But on the flip side of that, like you said, when you're starting at round 7 for everybody else, round 1 for you on that East Coast. So when you come back, hey, it gives Matt Bisceglia and Malcolm Stewart a chance to kind of weed out some of the stuff. So, I mean, I know I've been there, and you get to the track sometimes, and you got 10 different settings. And if they can kind of weed out a few of those items, and when you come back, that's a little bit more you don't have to focus on quite as much.
Yeah, for sure. It helps having teammates, and especially guys that are, capable of winning races like Malcolm did on the West Coast. It definitely makes it a lot easier coming through and getting to weed out the kind of the negative aspects of the bike. So it makes it good.
Justin, as we're watching the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge here, it's cool. You started racing when you were that small, and you know what it feels like. And, I kind of wanted to ask you, you won the championship last year, a Supercross championship. That's what you want to do from the time you're this size. How did your life change once you got that #1 plate?
It's not really too much, because I went into outdoors and I didn't have the success that I wanted last year. So it's just all working, man. I actually raced the KTM Junior Challenge here in 2000.
Wow.
So to come from that, it's kind of cool seeing the kids now, knowing that I was out there and they could potentially be champions one day. So. Well,
and you mentioned one of those kids. We have a girl that's actually competing, and we have Vicki Golden, who's actually competing in your class, trying to get into that 40 fastest to make the program. I think it's pretty cool to see the women, trying to make a go at Supercross.
Hey, any of that stuff is awesome for the sport. I think it just helped grow, and I've seen Vicki Golden ride, and she's pretty impressive. So. This stuff's not easy, for sure, so it'd be pretty cool to see her make it in.
Yeah, knacks, whips, she's got skills.
She's medaled in X Games. She's gnarly,
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit of grudge stuff here. A lot of people like to say the 250 West is more stacked to the east, but after I just watched your guys' first qualifying, you guys got a tough class of your own, man. It's nasty out there. Who do you think's your stiffest competition?
It is. It's always stacked.
Yeah.
It both goes. Everyone likes to say one or the other. It's really just whatever your preference is, to be honest. They're both gnarly. Sometimes with injuries, East Coast gets guys thrown into that because of injuries. So really, to me, they're both gnarly. You got guys like Cooper Webb, Malcolm, Bowers on West Coast. There's a lot of guys, can't even name them all, that are doing really good and that are going really fast. Here, obviously we haven't raced yet, but after practice, there's a lot of guys. So a lot of race winners, past race winners, and champions. So
you strike me as one of those riders that you're okay if you're not the top fastest or anything. You seem to me like you're a racer, and when the gate drops, I'm ready to go do my business, and I'm not getting paid to have the fastest time out there. I don't know, maybe it's written into your contract, maybe Geico has that. I don't know, if you set fast time, you get a little extra bonus, but you just strike me as being that guy. Like, we've interviewed a lot of guys, and man, they're bummed out if they're not on the top of the leaderboard.
For me, man, it's kind of the Allen Iverson thing. We're not talking about practice. I'm here to race. So It is what it is. As long as I have a good enough gate pick for my heat race to get a good start and that, I'm fine with kind of whatever. If I'm on the board, that's a win for me. I've never been the crazy death lap, send it fast guy in practice. So I believe I've gotten the pole a couple times my rookie year, and I don't think I even top 5 those nights. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day as long as you put it together in the race.
Well, however your approach was, it worked out pretty good for you last year. #1's on your bike. But, you're from Oklahoma. We're here in AT&T Stadium in Dallas. You got some local friends and family here to cheer you on. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, my house is only about 3.5 hours from here.
Cool.
So I got a lot of family, a lot of relatives that I haven't seen in a while. I spend most of my time out in California with the team and my trainer testing and riding and all that. So it's cool to come back here and get to see a lot of people, and it'd be nice to do good for them too.
Well, cool, man. We won't take any more of your time. Thanks for coming up and joining us. Good luck tonight, man.
Good luck.
I'm from Kansas. I'll be rooting for the guys from the Midwest, so go get you some.
I love it.
Cool, man. As always, it's great to have the factory riders come up here and enjoy us. We got more guests coming your way, so please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up? I'm Cole Seeley, number 14, riding for the factory Honda team, and you're watching Race Day live.
Motocross fans, if you're looking for class-leading 450 power with 250 style handling, then check out the incredibly quick and nimble Yamaha YZ450F at YamahaMotorsports.com or your local Yamaha dealer. And welcome back to AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, Texas. What's going on, man? Welcome to the show, Wes.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Wes Kane, the MC for the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross, AMSOIL Arenacross Series. How's it going?
It's going great. I mean, we've had sold-out crowds. The arenas are packed. They're swinging from the chandeliers. You got former Supercross stars like Chris Bloss there, Matt Gerke, Bobby Canary, and the seat is open, just like Supercross here. Who's next?
Right.
We're saying the same thing there. Tyler Bowers is here.
Those guys were all first-time winners, too, so, the house had to be just going crazy.
It's unbelievable. And Jacob Hayes, he's our points leader now. He's kind of been in the mist, but he went right after Bowers last season. I think now he's a true title contender for that #1 place.
Well, and Wes, you mentioned one of those title contenders out with a broken arm, and I'm talking about Zach Ames. He's hoping he can still be in that top 10 when you kind of line up and restack them again and run to the championship.
I don't know. Once we get that Mississippi and that top 10's locked out, and a lot of people are laying low, like Kyle Regal is teamed up on that Tylube team with Gavin Faith. They're getting beat up, banged around, but Gavin Faith told me, we're watching Supercross obviously after the race, and he said, listen, we're laying low. Jacob Hayes, they can knock us around all they want. And Regal said the same thing. He said, when it comes to the top 10 lockout, when the points are real close, he says, that's when we're coming back.
They're going to reset that stuff, right?
They're going to reset, and everybody's points are going to be within just a few points. And there's only, like, I believe, the last 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So it can be the 10th place guy could squeak in there. That guy could be the champion.
Well, look at a guest we had in our show in Anaheim 3 with Zach Ames. He ain't even racing right now. He's got a broken arm, but he has time to get out there, win a race, get in the top 10, and go for that championship. That's awesome.
I talked to Mitch Payton this morning, and we were talking about, Tyler doing his transition to Supercross, but he told me, he says, it's a shame. He really thought that Zach Ames was that guy. I mean, he was bridesmaid to Tyler Bowers for 3 or 4 years, and he was always in the top 2 or 3. We thought it was his year to actually take that championship.
Well, the thing about it also, you talk about the bridesmaid there. He was also his roommate. I'm thinking, man, how does this guy live with this guy? I mean, this is my top competitor. This is the guy I got to do battle with, and I wake up every morning with him and say, good morning, and I'm having a bowl of cereal with this guy, and I'm going to have to go knock him off the track later on.
But believe me, from racing as well as you, Andy, those guys, true competitors. The helmet comes, when the helmet goes on, the gloves come out. They roll the sleeves up, and they go out there, and they race hard.
Well, and you talk about a true competitor. Wes, you got a weekend off, buddy. You could be doing something else, but you come here to AT&T Park to watch the who's next in the 450 and to watch the start of that East Coast. I know next weekend you'll be in Tampa, and it'll pick back up then.
And we can't wait. Warm weather. I mean, we've been up there in the snow, and it's just been crazy. But, I film a TV show during the week, Vanilla Ice Project, and our production ends on Friday, so I usually dip out, fly, get on a plane, just like you guys, go do my weekend stuff. And Rob had some plans for me. He says, you know what, we're not filming. Why don't you just stick around, and we'll do some stuff around the house, off camera. And I already planned ahead. I said, no way, buddy.
I'm out.
I'm headed to Dallas. And I caught him off guard. He's like, hey, that's my hometown. But I think he's going to come into Tampa. Ricky will be in, so I think it's going to be a big deal down in Tampa when we get there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Robbie, Vanilla Ice, why isn't he here? This is his hometown, just busy with other things.
I mean, we got a couple more TV shows. We got to finish this one. It's going to air in April, so we're really under the gun, and we've got another thing. I can't tell you where we're going.
You can't break it on Race Day Live here?
We are going abroad. We got the Amish show. We're obviously going to be back in Ohio for a season 3 of that. But Rob has big plans. We are going somewhere around this country, but I can't say where.
Cool.
It's awesome, Wes. What you do is not easy. You're sitting there in front of a packed house, sold out. Guys are partying. They're hyped up, and it's your job to get it even more hyped up. What's it like? Tell us what's it like to get the crowd, so jazzed up like that.
Andy, he's got us hyped up now, just being on our show.
I mean, Andy, you were at Monster Cup.
I seen it.
And it was funny. In the meeting, you were sitting there, you're taking notes, and you're doing this, and I'm just sitting back like this. Yeah. And I said, why are you taking notes? When this thing starts, you have no time for notes. This thing is going to open, and we're going to have racing, we're going to have opening ceremonies, and we're going to have winners.
Right.
And for the next 4 hours, those notes, throw them out the window. What comes from your heart and your soul and your passion.
Right.
Just like you guys, you have passion for this, and everybody out there working on the track, I have a passion. First time I rode a motorcycle on the back of my dad, it took a hold of me, and it just comes out. I want to entertain. I want to be the translator between what's happening on the track.
Yeah.
For the people sitting up there, for not only the hardcore race fans, but for the spectator that really don't know what's going on in the sport, I want to be able to have him leave that event knowing he had a great time, he saw a great event, he saw true professionals out there doing what they love to do, And I mean, me and my producer on the show, we're talking about I'm the ringmaster.
Yeah.
We're cracking the whip. Lurch is our guy down there with Herb Braun up there, and it's a team. So I just do it. I don't know where it comes from. We just get it done.
You talk about the AMSOIL Arenacross, something that I like this year. You're going to be in Las Vegas, South Point on Friday. Myself and Andy, we're really looking forward to going watching to you. Not only the riders, but watch you, how you perform in Arenacross and announce and everything. And I'm really looking forward to that on Friday
I got goosebumps right now.
Goosebumps.
Normally, we crown our champion a couple of weekends before Vegas finals. Now it's built around Vegas finals weekend.
Yeah.
Friday night, we're going to be crowning our lights champion for the West. We're going to be crowning our Arenacross, AMSOIL Arenacross champion. And then we're going to pack up. We're going to go the Monster Energy Supercross for that champion if he's not crowned yet. And then we'll have the East-West shootout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be an action-packed. And you know what? You got to get those tickets. What I heard, it's going to be standing room only at the South Point Arena. So it's going to be an action-packed night and maybe the footprint for things to come. I would love to see AMSOIL Arenacross on Friday night. I would love to see Supercross on Saturday. You know what I say? Pick everybody's pocket.
Yeah.
You got the fans here. Let's just get them all here. Let's give them an action pack. I mean, NASCAR does it. Why not here? Let's do this. This could be something of the future, I think.
Well, and the other thing also that I enjoyed going is on Sunday after to watch the amateur.
Oh, boy.
Arena. I had a chance last year. I went there and checked it out. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was kind of bummed out they had an over 50 class. I'm thinking maybe I should get out there and ride again. You know, I could ride some arena crosses.
I think you got the skills still to pay the bills. I mean, you can get in there. We can suit Andy up. I'm sure.
Let's go, Andy.
We can talk to somebody out there. They're going to give you guys bikes. You have the credentials. You get out there and do it. But I'm telling you, Vegas finals, it's where it's going to happen at. AMSOIL Arenacross shootout. We're going to crown the champions on Friday, and then you just can't beat it.
Let's talk about what's going to happen here. You came from Orlando or Miami all the way to here to AT&T Stadium. It's going down in the 450 class. Who do you like?
Well, me and Rob watch on Monday.
Yeah.
Because we're busy and stuff. We watch. He's always screaming Tomac.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Jason Anderson out there as well. Davey, we're waiting for him. He's
faster.
coming around.
When is Davey coming? That's
Davey's
what I'm
there,
waiting for.
and he's trying to get the job done. He's coming in. You know, he's got his things going. But I mean, Roczen.
Yeah.
There's Roczen out there. Trey Canard, he's getting his legs under him, and he's starting to get in the groove. And there's a dark horse out there as well. You know, so it's going to happen here. And with the lights, I posted on Instagram this morning. I said, I've seen the boys from the West.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming here to the first round. I want to see who's going to be the new beast from the East.
Yeah.
Bogle's got to defend his title.
He was just standing where you were.
I saw him standing right here, and you know what? Those boys are hungry out there.
Yeah.
Jeremy Martin, he's going to be one. I've seen the lap times out there. Also, I'm seeing Matt Lemoyne turn a super fast lap time.
And that's it, you know, Andy, he alluded to that when we were looking at his times, and I said, you know, Matt Lemoyne, last year he had a podium. You know, this kid is the legit deal. It's his hometown race, but there's one other guy that I'm kind of looking for, and he's on that Husqvarna, Martin Davalos. I mean, that championship last year, he had it in the bag, and didn't have it in the bag. Bogle was pushing him and opening that bag, but I think that Martin Davalos, we got a chance to see him on a 450 out west, just kind of getting his feet wet. What do you think about the Husky?
I think Martin's definitely got what it takes. The Husky teams, they're super fast. I've watched Kyle Regal and Gavin Faith every weekend pull whole shot after whole shot against the Pro Circuit boys. I mean,
so did Zach Osborne in the West Coast.
It's going to be a toss-up, but I tell you, watch that number 200. He's on it, and Musquin.
Arnaud Tonis. Yeah, I was going to say, we haven't even mentioned Red Bull KTM's Musquin yet.
Don't count out Musquin.
Joey Savacci, there's another guy. I mean, there's a lot of guys. You can name off 10 guys off the top of our head.
Rinsland. The East is a beast, you know, like you just said.
I know, I got
the goosebumps.
You see what you're doing to us,
I
man?
mean, you know, if we're getting the goosebumps here, we're hoping fans listen on the line. We're hoping the fans that are in the stands, they feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That makes you come back for more. Makes you hungry. You get that feeling, and you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, tell the folks at home, you know, explain the vibe we're feeling right now. Look at all these guys coming in. Have you seen this many people for practice before?
No, the
crazy.
pits were full. I was sitting back there with the Racer X crew back there, and it was just nonstop people coming in, and it was just amazing just to see. And this stadium is beautiful. The TV, it's fan-friendly. The track is awesome. The Dirtworks crew,
the fans are beautiful here.
Look at them.
Yeah.
They're just coming in. The pilgrimage has been made. The whistle's been blown. Supercross is right here at the stadium right here at Arlington Stadium.
AT&T.
AT&T.
Can't forget that.
Hey, I'm nervous.
Jerry Jones sent us a memo saying, hey, don't forget AT&T.
AT&T Stadium. You know what? I'm nervous. I'm stumbling around. I can't wait. You know, these practices, the lap times, those are what I call the hors d'oeuvres. Those are the, you know, what you munch on a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
I can't wait to sit back there in my chair and watch the main course, which would be the main events.
Okay, real quick, before we let you go, I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me your podium in the 450. What you got?
Ooh, I'm Canard, I think. Canard will be there. Canard will be there. Roczen. But you know what? You know who's super hungry? Chad Reed.
Yeah.
I watched Chad Reed walk the track. I think Chad Reed's going to be on the podium tonight.
All right, that's pretty good.
I mean, I'm taking him.
250. Who do you like?
250. I think Bogle's got it. Him and Martin are going to have a slugfest out there, and then there's going to either be Tonis and Musquin.
Okay.
I mean, I love them all. I've seen these kids race since their very first race. I know the moms, the dads, the parents, the grandparents. I'm for them all. Believe me, I'm rooting for every one of them, but there's still got to be a podium.
One quick question before we let you go. Vicki Golden, top 40 tonight? Or maybe does she need a little bit more time?
I think Vicki Golden's going to have a good run tonight. I think she's going to have a little butterflies. There's a lot of hype going on. People are watching. There's a lot of pressure. I think once she gets past this and we go to the next round, she's going to mellow out. She's going to focus on what's happening right now. I mean, we've got interviews going on. You got paparazzi around her. I think once it dies down a little bit, she's going to do what it has to take, and I do believe she can get it done. Well, I hate to tell you, it's going to happen, guys.
In the AMSOIL Arenacross, the Ricky Carmichael Road, yeah.
She's won Loretta Lynn's. She's done this. She's come in there and banged bars and got her credentials.
Right.
They're not giving those things out in cereal boxes. Nope. You have to earn those points, and she got them.
Cool.
So I'm just telling you, it's been a long time coming. It's going to happen. We will see this.
Right,
there will be a female on that gate.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on Race Day Live. Wes, keep killing it out there in the Arenacross. We love watching you do your thing.
I love it.
We're going to have more guests coming up, including Lyle Lovett. Please stay with us. We got more to come.
And don't forget Joe Alessi.
What's up? I'm Davey Millsaps with Monster Energy Kawasaki, and you're watching Race Day Live.
Jim Holly, Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. Well, it is Arlington, and it is the start of that East Coast, and I got the man who runs that #1 plate, Justin Bogle. How are you?
I'm good. Just been putting in a lot of time at test tracks, getting ready, and get to come here kind of close to home for me, so always look forward to this one and get to kick off my series finally, so it's good.
Let me ask you this. Last year in Arlington, you had an okay finish, but you kind of started the season out slow, and then you gained momentum, and you wrapped up that championship. I noticed today here we got some new dirt. It's not the same dirt that we've seen in the past in Arlington.
Yeah, the dirt should be a lot better here. I think a little more lines, and from what it looked like on press day, it rutted up a little bit, so should be good. And yeah, last year I started out a little bit slow, but I'm feeling a lot better coming in this year, a lot more prepared, and my training went a lot better. I didn't have the big injury that I had before, so I'm feeling really good. My Geico Honda is working incredible.
You talk about injuries. You had some sort of injuries, though, I heard in the past. Are you 100% coming into this thing? Are you nursing an injury, or you're good to go?
I'm 100%. You know, everyone always has some issue, so it really does no good to talk about it and try to church it up and make it a big deal. It is what it is. Bumps and bruises are part of the sport, so I'm on the gate. I'm 100%. Feeling good.
You're a type of a rider, you probably look at all 21 guys on that gate as competition, but I mean, you got Martin, he won the last one in Vegas, he's got some experience. You saw what the Yamahas are doing. You got Martin Davalos on the Husky now. Who else are you looking at?
There's a lot of guys. You know, the Pro Circuit guys, the KTM guys, all those guys are good. Obviously the guys you mentioned will be up there. They're past race winners as well, so it should be good. But there's a lot of dudes, there always is. There's always a bunch of guys who are capable of winning, so really for me, I just go out and try to drill my process we have laid out for myself and my trainer Ryan. We've been working hard on that, perfecting that a bit. Last year was a good learning experience for me, and just trying to learn and apply. That's it.
You're good in the whoops. I've watched you in the past. You're good in the whoops. Here, we got, I like to say, Andy and I, we say, this is like end zone to end zone set of whoops.
Yeah, I love the whoops, man. I really love it when they're tough and they get nasty. But this weekend, I think they're going to be pretty small by the time races come around. But it's good. They're long, and if you can kind of just throw it out there and send it through them, you can make a pass. So that's good to see that there's actually a long set of them.
What are you going to be happy with tonight at the end?
Obviously, the goal is always to be up front. Other than that, for me, if I go out, get into the main event with a good heat race, get a good start, and put in 15 solid laps, you know, as boring as that sounds, that's what my goal is. And no matter what, I know if I drill my process, I'll be happy with the result. And, you know, hopefully that's up there on the podium if they're battling for a win.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha's Jeremy Martin. Hey, your teammate's tearing it up out there in the West Coast. No pressure, man.
Yeah, I know. Cooper's been doing a really good job, and he finished off the last race of the year strong with a bad crash in practice. So it's good for the team, and, you know, looking forward to the kickoff here today.
Well, let's go back to last year. You know, you won the last one of the series. You had some good momentum, and then you went into the summer and obviously dominated the Outdoor Nationals. You got to be feeling good coming in to start this new, fresh series.
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, it's been a long break. The batteries are charged, and we're ready to go. So the bike's good. It's even better than last year. So, you know, I'm going to go out there tonight, give it my best, and walk away knowing I tried everything I could.
Talk about the track. It looks pretty good. The dirt looks good. They brought in brand new, you know, loamy a little bit. It might get a little hard packed, but is it going to work in your wheelhouse, you think?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, anytime. I mean, I'm sure the West Coast guys are going to come over here and they're going to see this new dirt that they brought in for Dallas, and they're going to be like, whoa, we got traction. So I'm excited. The dirt looks good. I think it's going to rut up, and it's going to be some good racing tonight.
Cool. Thanks, Jeremy. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. Well, Marvin Musquin, man, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. I don't do the outdoors, and last year we missed you in Supercross.
Yeah, I know. I miss Supercross also. You know, it's I'm so glad to be here and healthy and well prepared. And yeah, so actually last time I raced Supercross was Las Vegas Supercross in 2013. So and I was battling with Will Hahn for the championship, and then I told my ACL getting ready for the following year. So yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm just really glad to be here. And I love the stadium, and we got new dirt for Dallas Supercross. So I just can't wait to get on the bike, get those first practice. And, you know, I think it should be good. You know, the bike is really good, and the team is good, and I get prepared really good. So we'll find out.
You know, we talk about that 450 class with Villapoto gone. Who's next? I know Bogle, he's running that #1 plate, but who's next in that 250 class? I mean, a lot of people are saying that you're the next guy to win that championship.
Well, you know, 2 years ago I was already the guy, and obviously at Dallas I went down in the first start 2 years ago. So yeah, I didn't start the championship very well, but I ended up second and really close to win the championship. So here we are again, you know, I want to say, and I feel good. I just we'll see. I don't know really what to say, you know, because there's lots of good riders, young riders coming from amateurs too. So that'll be so really interesting to see who's fit, who's fast, and but I think it's going to be interesting for sure.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with new Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha rider Josh Hill. First off, congratulations on the new ride, man. You're all set up for the rest of the Supercross series, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. You know, we got contacted last week, or actually this week. Got to ride the bike once and really liked it. And, you know, this is just a real solid team for me to get on for the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, your story is one of perseverance. Let's go back to 2008, you know, the best moment of your life. You win a 450cc main event. I mean, is that still pretty vivid in your memory?
Yeah, it's fairly vivid. I mean, that was a really good day. I think I was the youngest rider to ever win a 450 main at the time. And, you know, it's unfortunately, it's kind of been, you know, a bit of a struggle. I've had a lot of podiums since then, and, you know, actually been tied for the championship since then. But, you know, it's been a long uphill road. Just kind of created a lot more problems for myself than I really needed to.
Right. When you got hurt before X Games in 2010, you know, you were going to go into speed and style, and that was a big deal. I'm sure with bonuses and stuff and money, that was going to be a pretty important thing for your career in that season. You try a backflip and you get hurt really, really bad. And you know, tell the folks what kind of, you still carry some injuries with you from that accident, don't you?
Well, I mean, it was a pretty bad injury. I think everybody kind of knows. Like, I broke my femur, my pelvis, my arm, my wrist, and then got compartment syndrome in my left leg. And the compartment syndrome really just it shriveled my ankle. I got, don't have the calf on my left side still not as big as the right, and it's, I don't have near as much movement, and it's kind of fused together on the ankle side. So, it's rough, but it is what it is. I can throw a boot on and go out there and race a dirt bike, and I feel like I can still do it with the best in the world. So that's that's why I'm still doing it. I still feel like I have more to prove, and I feel like I'm improving every day. So yeah, that's why I haven't really thrown in the towel yet. I still think I can get up there on the top step of the podium one of these days.
Well, it's like they say, you can't hide speed and you can't hide talent. That's why RCH picked you up last year, and you had a pretty good thing going, and then they kind of give you some bad news, but then you counter by going out and winning a heat race and getting on the podium. I mean, do you remember what that was like? That had to feel good.
Well, I came into the series hurt. I broke my collarbone at round 4. Only took 1 weekend off, and then I kind of had to rebuild my body. I was kind of riding injured, so I don't know. At the end of the season, I knew I was going to be turning it on, and I was, I think I got like 11 top 10s or something like that last year, and a podium, and heat race wins, semi wins, all that. So, I mean, I thought last year was fairly successful, and I thought it was going to be good enough to land myself something pretty solid this year, but it took until now to do that. So, I think I really got to go out and prove to these people how good I am again, and that way I can not have to be in this spot next year.
Yeah, just some quick recent history. I mean, you went into the off season, you switched from a Suzuki to a Kawasaki. You go overseas and do some big races, do pretty well. You get on another new bike coming into Anaheim 1, and they kind of tell you, well, do your best. We can help you for the first 5 or 6 races, but that had to be kind of gnarly, as far as motivation. And then it was tough. You missed a couple main events. How was the beginning of the season? How tough was it?
I just had weird things happen. I feel like I only had 2 weeks on the bike before Anaheim, which I still went out to Anaheim, rode well, did all right. But then Phoenix, Oakland, and A2, I felt like I was riding better and better, but I just kept making mistakes and crashing in the qualifiers and just having a rough go at it. So I mean, last weekend was just, I think, finally put me where I feel like I belong. I don't think I rode that great. I don't think it was anything special. It was just like, okay, that's where I should be every single weekend. It was what I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the Cycle Trader Rock River folks thought so too. And it's cool how good news, arrives together. They start talking to you and you go out and bust out a top 10 and you make it look pretty easy, like you can do every race. I mean, that's what I hope for. I mean, I don't think of myself as being anything less than that. I believe I should be, even further up the ranks than 10th. But, we're going to see what we can do. I think this, Cycle Trader Rock River bike's a little bit better than what I was on. We still got Enzo suspension, and, they have a few parts and a few things on this bike that I think work better than the bike I've been currently racing. So get out there today and hopefully get a good start, because that's really been where I've been struggling all year, is with starts, and can't figure out why. But I've done more practice starts than I've done in my entire career, and they've been getting worse. So hopefully this weekend it all turns around on the new bike, and we can go out there and make some waves. Well, it's cool. I mean, there's a good vibe over here. These guys are stoked to have you, and you got to feel good yourself having that support to know, somebody's going to be with me for the rest of the Supercross series. Do you feel more motivated than ever, kind of like a fresh start to the whole thing?
I don't think really a whole lot's changed in my mentality. I think just go out there, try to be the fastest guy I can be from the time I get out onto the track until it's time to close down, and we'll see where that puts me. And I think it'll just continue to get better.
Josh Hill, he's been knocked down, he comes back, now he's got a new ride, he's going to be looking to bang out some top 10s, some top 5s, and maybe the podium. And we're back live here in AT&T Stadium. So, hey, you there in the beard with the black, yeah, wave, man, what's going on? Wave with the Jumbotron, FMF shirt. There they are. Yeah, let's have some fun today. We got the fastest qualifiers coming up. We're going to have an awesome show. We got another guest coming up with Lyle Lovett. But for now, Jim, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to wish all of the ladies out there a happy Valentine's Day. And I was hoping we could get that camera back, because I wanted to see if one of those boyfriends could, give a kiss to his girlfriend or wife, like a kiss cam. It is Valentine's Day. And I know John Martini, he's got his girlfriend here. And you know, Will I Am, his little son, he's
we
here,
go.
and there you go. All right, now see, she's waving to us. Now I
Waving.
want you to reach over and give him a kiss. The guy with the glasses on. There you
All
go.
right.
Nice. Happy Valentine's Day. The little guys there waving hi to us and stuff, but I think it's just an electric night here in AT&T Stadium here. I just can't wait for that East Coast to get going. I mean, we got a little taste of it with that timed practice, but and then what do you say about who's next in that 450? I think the 450 class. I mean, you know, I'd like to see somebody go back to back. We haven't seen that this year, and maybe Trey Canard can do it here.
Right, you know, and this is as close as the series gets to his home state. And Trey Canard told me in his interview after the race last week, and he goes, you know what, I'm really looking forward to getting to Texas, being back close to the Midwest. He feels good. The Honda have the HRC working with him. Those guys were all three in the top 5. Canard, Seeley, Tomac. They've been banging on the door of a podium sweep recently in the last couple weeks. Canard, like you said, Jim, he can go on a streak. He could win 2 in a row. He has to close the gap between him and Dungey and Roczen.
And he likes Texas, like you said. I mean, even though he's in Oklahoma and he likes Texas, I got to go back to 2011 when he won here in Arlington and he won in Houston. So he's got wins here in Texas. So, I mean, maybe he can back it up. But I think the thing about it with those guys is when they come on and they looked at the track today, I think every one of them went to the Feld track crew and said, hey, man, thanks for the new dirt we got here. And I think the fans are going to be happy with it and stuff. So I think it's great.
Yeah, folks, I want you guys to pay close attention to the dirt that you're looking at on the floor of the stadium. In recent years, it was more of a hard base. It was more, you know, it was like blue groove and concrete. But what Feld has done is bought brand new dirt and brought it in. And this stuff is awesome. You know, they've put some water on it. It's got great traction. It's going to have some ruts. It's going to make the whoops difficult. But it's going to be spectacular. And stay tuned with this here, folks. We have a really special guest coming to join the show here. And he's getting set up with the headset and stuff. You never know. This guy might start singing for us here.
Nice to see you guys.
Welcome to the
Lyle.
show, Mr. Lyle Lovett, man. Welcome to Race Day Live.
Thanks for having me. I love watching you guys.
You know, I'm sure it was kind of tough getting up here. We weren't anticipating 10,000 people coming to watch practice, but this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, isn't it great to see?
Yeah.
I grew up racing in the 70s here in Texas, and you know, to see how the sport has grown and to see how many people love it the way we all love it is just tremendous.
Well, you talk about that love, Lyle. I mean, I saw a lot of pictures of you when you worked at the Cycle Shack down in the Houston area. I know Scott Wallenberg, a good friend of yours, but I got to ask you, you run number 32. I've seen some photos of you, you know, and I go, the 32 is obviously a favorite number of yours.
Well, you know, I ran it. It was the one that nobody else was running at the time, and so I had to find one that nobody else had, and so I always ran it.
That's awesome. And you're a popular photographer. You know, you'll put a vest on and go down there in the floor of the stadium and take some photos. Tell me about some of the good times you've had doing that.
Oh gosh, you know, I just love being able to watch the racers up close. I mean, these riders are just so talented, and you know, when you've been on the starting line, even as an amateur, novice, local rider, you know, when that gate drops, you still feel it. And to watch those guys, they're just so good. And to be able to see them that close up is a real privilege.
Well, and I think a lot of the riders listen to your music. They like country and western, you know, maybe the road to Ensenada. But I wanted to ask you, you know, I want to personally thank you for doing the narration on the John Penton story with Todd Huffman. You know, that is an award-winning documentary here. And I think that, you know, that made me want to go out and restore Penton.
You know, I had my first real race bike was a 71 Penton. I felt so honored that Todd Huffman asked me to
Chance to see you there with John Penton right there.
You know, I met John Penton for the first time when I was 14 years old up at Penton Central in Amarillo, Texas. Cycle Shack, the shop you mentioned, was a Penton Husqvarna dealership, and you know, what an inspiration he was then and still is today. To have seen him that night, that was in Los Angeles last summer. And he is just so full of energy and as charismatic as ever.
That's awesome. And let's talk about why you're here today. You know, the Legends and Heroes Award, you're here to receive that. That's going to be really cool for opening ceremonies. You know, you got to feel pretty honored.
Well, I feel completely honored and humbled and surprised. I'm just grateful that the industry thinks of me as part of the family. Motocross and Supercross has been so much a part of my family. I wouldn't have gotten to race at all if it weren't for my parents. My mom wrote for one of the local motorcycle magazines, and my dad was my mechanic. And some of my fondest memories of spending time with my parents growing up is from my racing days, and it is just a privilege just to be considered to be part of it all.
Well, and you still race, like I said, you enjoy going out on your vintage Husky and battling out with Scott Wallenberg and things like that. But I got to ask you, because I'm a Yamaha guy, you still have your dad's DT1.
It is, and it was his actually was an AT1, the 125, but a white one, just like the original DT1s. Then he had a CT1. And I still have my last Husky 125 as well, which was a 73. So they're parked safely in the garage.
But so you're probably a lot like I am. You like to work on the bikes, not only ride them, but you enjoy working on them.
Well, that was always the ritual. Kind of all week leading up to the races. In the evenings after work, my dad and I would go out to the garage, and after school for me, and it just I think back on that now, and I realize just how important that time with him was.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Andy. My dad passed away in March 2013 when I was a factory rider. He was my mechanic, and I tell everybody this: I not only lost my father, but I lost my best friend, and I lost my mechanic. He was a hell of a mechanic.
Exactly. It's such a family sport, and even here, even today, when you meet Trey Canard, you realize it's no mistake that Trey Canard is as excellent as he is. When you meet the Dungeys, you realize where Ryan gets it. I mean, it's so encouraging and inspiring to see these families do this together.
Yeah, it's awesome. My family and me are still really close, and both my brothers grew up racing in this sport. And like you say, it's a total family element. But you're a Husky guy, you're a huge Husky fan. As a fan, you got to be pumped up to see Factory Husqvarna back on the track, and not just back on the track, pulling hole shots and almost winning races.
Anderson has been doing great. I am a Husky fan, and to see it so closely, see Husky so closely related to KTM is also very exciting, because I one year I'd have a Penton, and of course I had to sell my current bike to get my next one in those days, and so one year I'd have a Penton and the next year I'd have a Husky. So to see KTM and Husky in such a close relationship is also very exciting.
That's kind of how it used to be back in the day, wasn't it?
You talk about the close relationship. I see you brought our favorite lawyer in the motorcycle industry, Dan. He came up with you. Brock Glover. He's going to be there when you receive your award, and Dan and everybody. But we got some other photos of you, and I want you to talk about these that you're going to see flash up on the screen here. There's you and Wallenberg, and obviously you're 32, and Wallenberg there 13.
Well, of course he's number 32. Look at the style. He's got his elbows up, man. He's in the lead.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. We did a couple of parade laps at the Boise, the Racer X Boise Interam last spring, and Boise Vintage Cycle supplied me with that great 77 Husky to ride, and had such a wonderful time just getting to hang out with Scott. Lars Larson showed up, Mark Blackwell was there, David Bailey came, and it was just a privilege to be in their company.
You're only missing Torsten Hallman. You're going to get Torsten over there to ride with you guys.
Right.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. All those guys have their accolades, but we got a 4-time Grammy winner here. That's what makes it so.
Movie, TV star.
Right.
Does it all. Rides motorcycles.
Well, I am a fan, and just like all of the fans who are here today, we still, if we've ever raced, you still love it. That never goes away. And to be able to see racing at its highest level is just, it's just too good to pass up.
Well, I think you're a lot like Steve McQueen. I mean, a lot of people don't know that Steve McQueen was an avid fan, an avid racer and things like that, and just loved anything with a motor in it.
Well, he was, and what a great spokesman for the sport he was. I mean, with producing the classic film on any Sunday, I still love seeing those great pictures of Steve McQueen riding his Husky.
Do you get any of the producers that say, "Hey, Lyle, we really don't want you riding this weekend. You got something coming up. Maybe you ought to take it easy." And you're saying, that's all right. Me and Wallenberg, he's not going to knock me down. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
I wish they cared about me that much, but actually, though, it's I think it's important to do things in your life that you love to do, and you have to live your life, and riding bikes is. It's something that makes you feel better about everything.
A little dangerous too. And one thing, me and Jim, we always bounce war stories back and forth and show scars and stuff. Have you got anything you can share for us? Do you have any, any injuries or bad crashes or anything?
Well, it's given me a real appreciation for orthopedic medicine, and there are those. There are those things that happen, but there, in my case, it's always been something that I can deal with and get over and get back on the bike.
What do you think tonight? We got the start of the East Coast Championship. You got Bogle returning. You got Jeremy Martin. You saw what he did in the outdoors. You got Marvin Musquin. A lot of guys can win this East Coast. What do you think is going to turn out tonight? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot and pick somebody, but I mean, who's your favorite?
Well, no, no pressure there, right?
No pressure.
We're
starting to sweat a little bit. Me and Andy, we sweat all the time up here.
I really do. I admire how smooth Marvin is and how fast he is. Of course, Martin was just so dominant in the outdoor. Marvin really came on strong at the end of the outdoor. Bogle is, consistent and could win anytime. And he was running number 32, so I like him. The difference between outdoor and indoor, though, is a real thing, and I'm always curious to see how great outdoor riders adapt to the indoor tracks.
Right, with Jeremy Martin winning the outdoor national championship, and he missed the first 2 rounds of Supercross last year. So, like you say, that transition, we'll see. Interesting to see if that parlays into success here. Jeremy was fast in the first 250 class, but Lyle, transitioned for us a little bit for the big boys in the 450. Who are you looking for there? That's been a hornet's nest.
Well, it has been. Any of the riders in the top 10 seem like they could win it on any Saturday. It's they're all so talented. Of course, once again, I'm a KTM fan, and I love how smooth and consistent Ryan Dungey is. Ken Roczen is so fast, and Trey Canard, and Eli Tomac, Andrew Short. I tell you, any of the guys in the top 10, and then you have great, wily veterans like Chad Reed. They're right there every time. It could go to anybody.
You had to have been surprised when you came into AT&T Stadium and you looked and you saw the dirt. You think, all right, the Feld Motorsports people, they changed the dirt. We're going to have some great racing. Not that we haven't had any great racing here before in Arlington, but I just think that this track is going to lend itself with the new dirt we have here to be a great night of racing.
This stadium has never looked better to me, and the dirt looks exceptional, really. It looks like it's holding a lot of moisture. It looks like it might actually hold up pretty well through the course of the evening.
Well, tell us about what you have coming on now. You back in the recording studio? You got any ride trips coming up? What's in the future for Lyle?
I will be recording later this year. Right now we're working playing out on the road. We'll be later this month, be out in California and New Mexico and Colorado, and kind of play dates all the time. Playing music for me, getting on stage, it feels a lot like riding in terms of the enjoyment that I experience. It's something that I do because I love to do it, and I feel really fortunate to have been able to do it all these years.
Let me ask you this: when you're on that tour bus, you have a motorcycle there, maybe you find a track in New Mexico or wherever you're touring, hey, I want to take a few laps, guys.
I have carried motorcycles before, but I don't always get to, but I do always carry riding gear. I always carry my off-road gear and a helmet, and it's really fun to show up at my buddies' houses or when they don't expect it and jump on their bike.
Well, not only dirt though, but I mean, you got a Ducati Monster. Do you ever bring that on tour?
Well, I have in the past, and it is I tell you, it's a great way to see the country. When you're riding on the road, when you're riding a motorcycle, you take roads that you wouldn't take in a car, and you see part of our great country, part of our world that you wouldn't know about otherwise.
Just putting it in the wind.
Exactly.
Well, folks, 4-time Grammy winner, Lyle Lovett, we're going to honor him tonight for the Legends and Heroes. Please give him a round of applause real quick. Thanks for coming on the show, man. We know you're going to be busy. It's a pleasure to talk to you today, Lyle.
Thank you
if you get out to LA and you want to go ride, give me a call. We'll hook it up.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, folks.
Hey, what's up? I'm Justin Barsha, race for the JGR Toyota Yamaha team, and you're watching Race Day Live.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, and joining us right now is multi-time AMA national champion Brock Glover.
And Jim Hawley, ex-teammate.
Yeah, ex-teammate of mine. Yeah.
Let's hear about it, guys.
We've had some good battles, but I mean, the thing about it, this was a surprise that Brock was able to come up and join us because, I mean, you're busy, man, nowadays with Dunlop and everything, but I don't know if you know this, but, before... here in AT&T Stadium, before the old dome, we used to race in the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, boy.
Right? And Brock's bike went up into the stands one year when we were racing in the main event.
A buddy of mine last week mentioned that to me. He said, see, you cost these guys a lot of revenue at Feld, because you first 4 or 5 rows of the seat, they're not occupied. Because
that's why our berms are only 5 feet tall.
That's
Brock
right.
Went in the stands.
David, well, actually, I blame it on David Bailey. If he's here, I'd tell him that to his face because he crossed in front of me and took my front end out, and I went off the back of the bike, and in the meantime, I pulled the whiskey throttle, and the bike went straight for a long ways before I hit that burn and launched up into the lap of a fan.
Well, John R. had a hard time getting it out of the stand, getting it back to work.
Actually, the fans lowered it down, and everything was okay, and I probably would have only lost 20 seconds or so, but when I went to take off, I tried to be as gingerly as possible, but all the television cables and everything wrapped up in the back wheel as I went to get back on the track. So kind of my fault for not getting back there a little sooner. But that was the long Supercross, one of the longest of my life, when you're a lap or two down and you're just basically circulating all by yourself. It was not fun.
Well, you've been around the sport a long time, Brock. I was surprised when I walked into the stadium and I saw brand new dirt. I'm going, nice.
I know. This is really, truly one of the most, just look for, we all look forward to coming here. It's just a terrific race. It's a terrific facility. This is amazing that we're actually able to race in this stadium. It's the state of the art, the best stadium probably in the United States right now, no question about it. And then to come in here and have great dirt like this is more of a clay. It almost looks like, to me, if you saw the dirt and you asked me where are we, I'd say Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, totally looks like Georgia clay.
It does. It's more red, yep.
Talking about along the lines of what you're doing now in your current role with Dunlop, have you guys changed anything up with this kind of soil composition, or what would the guys be running?
We had this great conversation, actually. Lyle Lovett, myself, Roger DeCosta, we're all in the truck talking about that, and it does get to the point as the season progresses. The riders will change here and there, but a lot of the guys get real comfortable with a tire, and the more and more you see that, to me, I see it more and more, where they just want to ride with the tire that they're used to. And part of it, you got to give the props to the track people, because they do prepare the tracks now like they've never done before. There's very rarely do we have a situation where a track gets very, very hard packed and slippery like that. I mean, sections will get shiny here and there, but the guys, not enough for them wanting to change the tires, so they do tend to stick to kind of the same combination front and rear for majority of the races.
Is that hard for you guys though at Dunlop? I mean, I know that you're always testing new tires and new carcasses and different compounds and things like that, but like you said, and you're a former rider, you get kind of used to some, I don't really want to test, I don't want to go away from that thing. So how do you overcome that?
Well, you make a better tire, and we actually this year were able to do that. We came up with another spec of a tire. It looks very similar, but the new tire is different. That helps. We're always trying to, sometimes you're just making small changes and small improvements. And like this last year with the MX32 and the MX52 line, the latest generation of Geomax tires, we actually came up with a lot of technology in those tires. I mean, they have different compounds in the sidewall to help keep the tire from bouncing as much. They have a variable knob height on the corner, which is called progressive cornering block technology. It's it's a knob within a knob where the tire actually flexes a little bit. It gives more traction in the hard pack conditions, which allows us to run a wider spaced, more aggressive pattern. So you get the whole shot, you get that forward drive in the whoops, you get all the stuff you're looking for, but yet you still get a good tire in the corners and the hard pack conditions. So it's been a great improvement for us this year.
That's awesome, Brock. Now back to the action on the track here. Vicki Golden is one of the big stories coming up here tonight. She's posting a 1 minute. She had a 1 minute 1 lap time. This isn't the first time this has happened. I remember back in your day, wasn't there a Mrs. Payne that rode and Mercedes Gonzalez?
Yep. Sue Fish was another one early in my career, and Jimmy remembers that were very good riders, could run local Southern California pro races and run somewhat competitively, and it's great to see Vicki out here too. And it's, the irony of Vicki, she didn't even know this. At one point, she lived one street over. She lived in El Cajon for a while, my hometown, where the old Cajon zone is. And literally her backyard would have backed up to where Rick Johnson lived for quite a long time of his career. And I asked her if she even had any clue of that, and she didn't. She you could have thrown a little pebble over your back fence and hit Rick Johnson's house, and you live around the corner from Brock Lover's mom, and there's a lot of history there. So if there's any girl that I'd like to see be able to make a main event or do it, it'd be Vicki Golden.
Well, we're getting a chance to see her here in the whoops there, 423 there. She got that GoPro camera. I think, Andy and I, we've talked about it earlier in the show. We didn't even do a track walk interview because I just told her, I said, look, and she's got so much to deal with, all the press. We just leave her alone. Let's talk to her in Atlanta. Let's see where she is. You see the red cross flag and the flashing light. They got to roll that triple section there. And but I mean, I think she's got a great shot at becoming to make history here tonight in Arlington, and if not, maybe in Atlanta next week.
And and there is, you mentioned it, Jim. That's exactly right. She has a tremendous amount of pressure on her tonight. And I hope she can just kind of take a breath, and just get through tonight. And even if it doesn't go exactly like what you dream of, that's okay, because as we've all seen, as the series progress, and if you can keep the injuries away, next thing you know, round 4 and 5, round 6 at San Diego last week, there were guys making that main event that definitely did not make the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Killian Rusk and Ronnie Stewart.
And you see it in the 450, and you see it in the 250 also. So she just needs to hold tight, get through this. I think she's working quite a bit with Sean Hamlin out in California and working on her Supercross skills, and so I think she just, that would be my advice for her if she were asking.
Well, and I think that's the way they're going. I like that they're starting on the East Coast here. You get 6 more weeks of getting some riding underneath your belt, but you think a lot like I do that, hey, you know what, it's not all about here. This is, you talked about it, you can throw your championship away here in this first round. Well, you can throw your, trying to be the first woman in history to qualify for a Supercross here. Yeah. So, be it every round. You're going to learn. You're not learning anything if you're up in the stands in plaster. And that's the bottom line. So just take it one step at a time, and if she doesn't make it, hey, it's no big deal. You had a lot of pressure on, move on to the next round.
Well, she'll pick up a lot of fans and a lot of, respect from guys like myself, you, and everybody else in the stands, because there's a lot of people who couldn't do what she's doing. And I'll tell you, I agree with what you're saying. Just let the series come to her. If she doesn't feel comfortable with certain obstacles, the other thing is, she doesn't need to do them. And the next week, she'll get more comfortable with the track builders too. And it's kind of a strange thing, but there is a feel when a guy builds a jump at a certain pitch. There is a feel out here that's why you see the guys that have been out here 6, 7, 8 years. These guys are jumping triples on the first lap because they know the pitch, they know the feel, they know what they could do it in their sleep because they've dealt with the same track builders over and over. They know just how the whole tracks lay out. Vicki, this is a brand new thing for her, brand new race, brand new. Even when you go practice at a milestone or a Lake Elsinore, you're not getting the same track builders and the same pitches of the jump.
Brock, before we let you go, I know you're a busy guy. You have a radio show on Sunday mornings there. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've been doing it now. It's almost 2.5. It's Father's Day is going to be 3 years. It's called Bike.
Man, we just had a replay of a crash there on the triple. That's Tracy Morgan. We're going to hope that he gets up.
He's holding his right knee and leg. Disappointing to see that. You just hate to see anybody fall anymore. The Asterix medical unit's on hand there. He's in good hands, but he looks like he's got some serious pain there. So
going back to this coming Father's Day, 3 years, for the
Bike Week Radio Show. So Bike Week Radio Show, it's a terrestrial signal. We actually broadcast on a very large, powerful Southern California sports radio, the mighty 1090. It's 1090 on the AM dial. Same company. They have Jim Rome. They have a lot of sports guys. They broadcast all the Padres baseball games, all the Aztecs basketball and football games. Big station, big sports talk station. That station actually broadcasts also. You can go online and listen to it at bikeweekradioshow.com, or you can just download our new app and you can just listen to it, or you can go back and pull up some archives if you had a favorite show that you wanted to catch or who was on. So we have a lot of interesting guests. It's a lot of racing, but there's other guests too. I mean, this weekend we have a gentleman that kind of broke the code of silence in the Hells Angels and actually wrote a book, and they have a book out, there's some interesting topics besides pure racing. Last week we had
you got security guards and stuff in this show. I mean, I don't know. I'd be a little nervous.
And the book is really, I'm only partway through the book right now, but it's very interesting because it has an interview with both the agents that arrested and himself, and they're both sides of the story kind of a deal. It's a very cool book. I can't wait to finish it. I'm trying to finish as quickly as possible. But like last week we had Steve Mathis on. A couple weeks ago we had Davey Coombs on. So we do have other people on, and then we've had plenty of riders and things like that too, including your previous guest Lyle Lovett. So we have it's a wide variety, good racing thing, and got to get you on there too, Jim.
Well, folks, back to the action on the track real quick. We need to tell you folks at home that we are under a red flag condition. That's why nobody's going on the track right now. We're going to hope Tracy Morgan's okay, so keep your best thoughts and prayers with him right now. We got to go to break here in a little bit, Brock, but it was awesome having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Jim, as always.
Good seeing you, Brock. Always.
We're getting a note here that we are on a red flag, so stick with us for a little bit more. So,
we'll do that. Yep.
Yeah. Here's a replay. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, it came up short.
Yeah, it came down right on his
Hopefully he's all right.
Right leg.
And you can see the right leg. He's holding that right leg. That's where he hit the hardest.
Okay.
Okay. Good. We got a thumbs up there with Tracy Morgan there. He gave a thumbs up to the crowd there. The Asterix Mobile Medical Unit right on top of him and taking care of him and stuff. So he's good to go. I think you know, he's in good hands. He's got his helmet off. He's talking and everything. He's good to go. So we're good. Just you know, this presents, Andy. This is a little bit harder for the other guys out there, you know, in this C practice. But the thing about it, Vicki Golden gets a chance to go back, talk to her mechanic, and kind of regroup and get her focused. They still have about 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in this practice. So, you know, that's what the mechanics are doing. They're kind of going over things. This is a great opportunity. You see them come into the pits and they talk to the mechanics. Well, that's wasting valuable time. Well, they have a lot of time right now to talk to their mechanics as they're waiting for Tracy Morgan. And he was had a pretty good time going. He was third. He had a 57.2. I'm pretty sure that would have got him in the 40 fastest, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I watched that replay there. There's a little bit of a roller before that triple, and you know, as aggressive as these guys are, you know, they really try to scrub as hard as they can, and it seems like he just lost a little bit of control there before he went out to scrub that triple and shorted it bad. You know, he abandoned ship and landed feet first. You know, we could see him moving around and stuff, but I think he's got a lower leg injury, which is no good. But the good thing is, you know, he's moving around, he's coherent, so.
That's one thing I never picked up on in my day of racing, scrubbing. We didn't have that back in my day. And, you know, I'll go out riding now and I'll watch guys and I'll try to emulate, and I'm just going, no, I'm just going to jump it straight. I'm not going to scrub it off. I need all the speed I can get. I don't want to scrub off no speed to clear that triple.
Yeah, me too, Jim. You know, it's funny. I still ride the vet class, and that's one thing that the people that always say. I see 16-year-old kids that I'm passing, and they're like, you know, I'll pass them in the corner, and here they come over the triple, and they're 4 feet lower than me, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. What's going on there? But
see some of the mechanics now. It's pretty hot. They got the signboards there, kind of waving a fan. You'll see some of the guys collapse the front forks to activate the whole shot device there. So you know, they're getting ready.
We're looking at some tweets and some hashtags here, folks, at home and all over the world. You know, send us some photos of you. Hashtag Race Day Live. Hashtag Supercross on Fox.
Look at those fans waving.
We're going to get right back with you guys, folks. We're going to have the 250A group and 450A group qualifying. Stay tuned.
Hey, what's up? I'm Justin Barsha, race for the JGR Toyota Yamaha team, and you're watching Race Day Live.
Race fans, if you're looking for a bike you can win on right out of the crate, then check out the Yamaha YZ450F and National MX Champion YZ250F at YamahaMotorsports.com today. And DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes. You know, Jim, there's a lot of things going on here today, and a popular Texas racer that's a former main event winner, Blake Wharton. We just saw his mom
over there. Yeah, he's actually getting a chance to entertain us in the party in the pits with his band, Blake Wharton's band.
The Rogue Locust, yeah, I saw him setting up this morning, so they were out there rocking and rolling. Pretty cool to, you know, see him still coming to the races, and best of luck in all of what he has going on with that. I mean, went pretty far for Lyle Lovett.
Maybe Lyle's going to go out there and join him. You never know.
Could be a jam. It was cool, you know. I just got a text message there on our break, and my dad was like, "Wow, Lyle Lovett, that's one of my favorite songs. Don't Take My Heart." So that's pretty cool, you know. And they have a 4-time Grammy winner on the show that's an avid and current motocross enthusiast. Pretty awesome, and you know. And
you know, you think about guys like that, you know, and I know I want to give a little shout out to Matt LeBlanc. I know he got off a couple weeks ago, and he's big time movie star and TV star, and you know, these guys ride. They enjoy riding just as much as me and you, and they're avid.
Maybe more.
They love it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's super cool. You know, what's really neat for me is having Rick Johnson on the show, Brock Glover on the show. You know, being next to you. You know, we just want to. I just want to be grateful for being on the show, and I guess love's in the air. Is that what it is?
It's Valentine's Day. I'm telling you, it's Valentine's Day.
I think it is. There's a little bit of love in the air. It's Valentine's Day. We had some images here, and we're going to check them out here for you. Oh, the caricature there. Ryan Dungey and his beautiful wife. Pretty cool. Yeah, they started it off with the trend, and everybody else chimed in behind them. And there's Trey
Canard,
and his new wife. Yeah, obviously pretty happy right now on the heels of 2 wins in the young season. So there's Chad Reed and his family, 3 kids. You know,
3 kids
people forget. You know, he has his oldest son rides, but
There's old Tate there. I like how they do the sprocket as a way of a heart. You know, I don't know if that'd go around the rear wheel too well, but I think that's pretty cool, the graphic.
Yeah. And, of course, the power couple there. You know, you might have heard of Carrie Hart, and you also may have heard of Pink. I believe she's a Grammy Award winner herself. So,
guys are still waiting there. As you look at it, Tracy Morgan there still being attended to by the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit. I think the mechanics are going to have a little bit of arm pump with those signboards, fanning their riders down. You know, the thing about it is you never know when they're going to say, you know, hey, you guys are ready to go out there. So they don't want to take off their helmets and everything, because then, you know, they got to put it on, then you're in a panic. So they're just kind of leaving the stuff on, and, you know, it's hard. You know,
it is
you
hard.
feel for your competitor, and then you're down there, you're nervous already, and but I think this is a little bit of a, you know, for Vicki Golden. I think that this gives her an opportunity. As you see her, she's sitting 12th fastest in this C group practice with a 101.0 and a 55.8. That's the leaderboard right there.
Yeah, she needs 3 seconds or 4 seconds, you know, to pick up. And there's 4 minutes to go here in this practice, ladies and gentlemen. Vicki's going to do her best, but you know, like Brock said and like Jim said, and like kind of the whole theme is for her to just use this as a learning experience. She obviously has a lot of talent. It's very tough. It's a lot of pressure. And the best thing about it is she's going to race next weekend and have another chance. So let's just keep the positive vibes going here with Vicki Golden.
Well, these guys are going to have another chance here. Like you said, Andy, 4 more minutes. There they go. And we'll see where Vicki Golden is out there. And, you know, if I was her mechanic, I'd say, hey, let these guys go. Give it a little bit of a beat and then go in there.
Get some clear track, some clean air.
You look at it and it's close to a minute lap time. Let these guys go around 30 seconds, and then you go, and you'll have a good, clean track. Because you got to remember, the goal, no pun intended, for Vicki Golden is to have a great lap time. You don't have to go out here and race with these guys and bang bars with these guys.
1 lap.
So just go out there and do your thing and see what happens.
I always hated seeing that. Did you see those footprints on the landing of the triple? I remember when I was a racer, and you know, it's just part of our sport. Someone would crash, and you'd always kind of see the scene of the crime when you're in the air. You're like, oh man.
You know, there's something I've never did in my career, Andy. I never jumped off of my motorcycle. I always thought, you know, let the motorcycle, you got 12 inches of suspension. Yeah, let that thing absorb it and then see what happens. But a lot of the younger kids, they feel that front end drop, and they're not going to make it, man.
Get out of
they're
there.
abandoning ship, you know.
Get out of there. It's tough. I've experienced the bad side of both of those deals personally, so staying on sometimes is for the best. You know, like you said, you got 12 inches of travel. You might as well try to use it. But
my thought process on that, I was always worried if I went to bail, my foot would get hung up on the handlebar or something when I went to go bail out on the thing.
Right, and then you're in big trouble. But, you know, go back to Tyler Bowers' crash, and if he wouldn't have stepped off, then you know, he would have been in big trouble. But he got off the bike, slid down the backside of the tabletop, and came back and got a podium the next weekend. So, like I said, we got 2 minutes to go here in 250 Supercross group practice number 2. So, see if you. Time is running out for Vicki Golden. She's going to give it her best shot. Your top 5 is Albertson, Cartwright, Morgan, Steffi, Taylor, and unfortunately Morgan there, he's the one that we had the red flag for. So.
Well, and that might help somebody who's on the bubble. You know, you take the 40 fastest, maybe Morgan was 40th, and then that allows the guy in 41st to get in because he won't be competing tonight. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here. I'm curious when Vicki Golden comes around, see if she can drop into the minute flat maybe.
And folks, if you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450 Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross. And AMSOIL. AMSOIL is the official oil of Loretta Lynn's, AMSOIL Arenacross, and Monster Energy Supercross. It's not only the official oil, AMSOIL products have been tested in the most extreme conditions at the track and on the trail to ensure they are formulated for superior dirt bike performance. Get out front performance, get AMSOIL. Yeah, there's Vicki.
Vicki coming through the whoops there, just kind of rolling into that section there. And you know, you got to look at it, and maybe, you know, some of the nerves are starting to play in, but we'll see what she does here. There's that double single, She didn't triple that section there, so hopefully she'll get on a roll here. She's just probably waiting for a good break in the track to try to lay down a heater, and that might be now.
Yeah, she's got to go for it. There's 20 seconds to go, so she's barely going to be able to get around here. And this will be her last lap and her last chance. Let's see if she can do it. You know, if you guys are at home, if you're a female rider at home, cheer for her. Let's see if she can get a fast lap.
Well, that's nice right there. That double there. You're going to double that section there.
I think having that guy in front of her is going to help her. You know, she can kind of gauge a little bit.
And this is a lot of the guys are landing up on that and stepping off of it. Let's see how she does this triple here after the right-hander.
Didn't get it.
Yeah,
no.
Double single. So not going to be a good lap for her. And she's going to round into the whoops, but that's okay. Hey, don't worry about it. You're going to see another yellow flag, maybe a rider down in the whoops. Yeah, see, that's not going to be good. One of the riders off to the side of the track, so that yellow flag. So, hey, just take it for practice now. Let's see if this triple. Yeah, she's a little bummed out. She knows that she didn't have the momentum to do that triple, but hey, hopefully, maybe that 101.0 will get her in, and if it doesn't, hey, you know what? She got a chance to run free practice, 2-time qualifying sessions, and now let's take it down to Atlanta next weekend and get some more practice under her belt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just there's no negative involved with this at all. She has skills. She's an amazing, athlete. And the most important thing in my mind is she's healthy. She made it through this deal. She's going to go to Atlanta and give it another shot. So pretty awesome story there. That wraps it up for 250C practice qualifying number 2. It's going to be Albertson, Cartwright, Dylan Slusser, Carnow, and unfortunately Morgan's in 5th, and he won't be able to go to the night show. He's injured, and we're going to keep our thoughts and prayers with him that he's okay and not in too much pain. It's getting down to the short and curlies here, Jim. Though we're going to be coming up with the 250B qualifying 2, and then right to the big boys. It's tightening up. Roczen was the fastest guy earlier. Who do you think is going to be the fastest qualifier coming up?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fastest, if you look back at the times that we had before, I mean, it was Kenny Roczen with that 49.4, and then behind him, Eli Tomac, a 49.7, and then 50, just outside of that 49, a 50.2 for Trey Canard. So, I mean, with that being said, you had Marvin Musquin. He had the fast time in the one of the guys going down already.
Rodriguez.
It's not a good way to start. All the guys kind of the first lap. Take it easy. We're all right. It's no big deal. Oh, here we're going to get a replay of it. Here's Rodriguez. He's out there and just lost the front end. Just
pushed it.
Didn't turn the throttle on coming out of the corner. And that's why you always talk when you're teaching with riders and you go into corners. Everybody has a habit of looking down and seeing what the wheel. If you're in a crowd of people, if you're by yourself, you really don't have to take a look up. But if you're in a crowd, you need to look up in case somebody does that like Rodriguez, so you can avoid that.
And I can't express, you guys can't see what we're seeing right now. There are people lined up as far as you can see, as far as my eyes can see. They're funneling into the stadium. The seats are filling up. People are here to watch practice and qualifying and watch race day live. This is awesome. The vibe here at AT&T Stadium, it's just electric. I mean, I just get goosebumps just saying those sentences right now.
Well, and you got to remember, with this place will probably sell out tonight. But
that's what they said.
The jam up, as we kind of look over there, I know we're on screen here with 79 Chase Owens, and he looks like he's going pretty good through the whoops there. But it's the security to get into the stadium. They have to check every bag and every purse and anything like that. So that's what kind of the holdup is. And but they'll get in here. They'll be able to get in here. We still got a lot more qualifying to go. They'll make it in here.
And Chase Owen, right now, they're coming around to get their first lap, so we don't know where they're at in the running. But he looks like he got through the whoops good. This should be a pretty decent lap here. Chase Owens bounced around the ranks for a few years. He was a factory Suzuki rider for a while. Then he's been on some privateer organizations. And to this point, he jumps to the top with a 54.6.
Well, let's see what he does here. You come out of this corner, you did that.
On top
let's see if he steps on. See if he step off. That's a key right there in that timing section where we didn't see that happen in that C group. That C group, downsiding that, it just throws off. You're losing about a second right there. You need to get on top of that step on and step off.
Looks good in the whoops, too. Really good in the whoops.
He's just happy they got some great dirt out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just watching it. I'm watching the lines. I'm saying, man, I'd like to go around a lap or two. We got some good traction out here tonight.
It does look pretty fun. I don't know if I want anything to do with any of those rhythm sections, but I like that part of the track straight away. But rookie Luke Linson.
Yeah, Linson there. He looked good too. I mean, he was up in that top 5, and you know, if you're Christina Denny and the Rock River Auto Trader Yamaha team there, you're just kind of telling them, hey, all right, man, we're in. And now the next step is to try to get a good start, finish in that top 9 in the heat race, so you're directly into that main event. And if you're not, you're gonna have to, you know what happens after that? You're going to that last chance
going
race.
Home. You know, but a little more here on Luke Rinsland is his team manager, Austin Hoover, over there at the Cycle Trader Rock River, sent me a text and said, you know, you got to remember, he got the Ricky Carmichael Hard Charger Award last year after Loretta Lynn's, and they're really pumped up on him. They said he's been looking really good at the practice track. They got a good bike under him. They're looking forward to seeing this guy get out there in the main event and get a top 10 right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, yeah, top 10 would be great, but you know, you don't want to put too much pressure on the rider. You know, I got a chance off camera to talk to Christina Denny. I said, hey, look, you know, if your guys are up there, tell your mechanics, you know, don't tell them who's behind you. That race is in front of you. All right, you start telling guys, this guy's coming up and you're losing time to him, then he starts thinking about that guy and tightening up like we saw Alex Martin do in Oakland. He says, you know, I was riding great until, you know, lap 9, and then I saw Cooper Webb was coming there. I started thinking about him because I thought at one point he was going to go after Malcolm, but then he started thinking about the guys behind him. And you really don't want to do that if you're a mechanic, and that's an old, you know, trick, you know. And, and also you want to put, like, if you're minus behind you, you want to put, like, if you're 5 seconds behind, the next lap you want to put 4. That way your rider thinks that, hey, I'm gaining on this guy. If you put you're losing, then he gets bummed out. Give him some hope. Wave that, wave the white towel. Wave the, let's go. And with 5 minutes to go here in 250B qualifying number 2, it's Rinsland just jumped to the top. Luke Rinsland jumps to the top with a 53.6, followed by Rodriguez with a 53.7, so that's pretty close right there. Third place is number 393 from Ohio, Daniel Hairline. And fourth place is Jay Sowen. Fifth place is Colt Nichols. So actually,
there's Chris Bluth
jumped into the top 5
there. Yeah, West Coast kid Chris Bluth jumping up there now to the top 5. That's good for him. Number 594 there. And you see Potter behind him, and then Nichols, Tucker. You know, a lot of those guys, you know, those are great times that these guys are putting in. 53s, couple 54s. Couple 2 or 3 55s there.
Very respectable lap times. And, you know, with the whoops breaking down and stuff, you know, that kind of works both ways. And, you know, when they get a line grooved into the whoops, it makes them a little faster, but it also makes them a little more dangerous because when they're cupped out like that, like we've seen a few times on Race Day Live today, it'll sketch out your front end and put you on the ground really fast. Right there is 689. That is Keith Tucker. Keith Tucker is also another, you know, graduate of the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. Tucker has some amateur national championships, and he's a tall guy. He has a lot of speed. We could look for him to get in that main event tonight.
Well, and he looks like he's on a heater right now. You just look at that body positioning, and you know, standing up there. You know, in that right-hander here. We'll see what this, if he can bump up.
This is Nick Gaines here, number 95. And there's Rodriguez, still your fastest qualifier. Don't forget, folks, Fox Sports 2 tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in. Thank you for joining us here on Race Day Live. Feel free to send us some photos of yourself at home, and tell us if you like the show. Tell us if you like the guests. Is there any Lyle Lovett fans out there? We want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Yamaha race fans. What do the Yamaha YZ450F and Yamaha YZ250F have in common? They both won multiple major motocross shootouts. Check them out at your local Yamaha dealer or YamahaMotorsports.com.
Yeah, this one's starting to wind down here a little bit. You kind of look behind it. We got about 254 left. A couple yellow flags out there. I think they're going to go away. I don't see anybody down right now, but that's the thing about it with those yellow flags is we're watching. Oh, we just changed now. Who's that? Oh, a little sideways.
That's Luke Rinsland there. That's the rookie.
Oh, little mistake there.
Yeah, I blew that rhythm section. So
yeah.
There's Dakota Alex, number 88 behind him, just creeping into your picture there. Let's see if Rinsland gets through the whoops here. I know Dakota Alex is on a heater. Okay, there we go. He's in our frame. Not bad through the whoops. He's out of the main line there. You see, ladies and gentlemen at home, that's where it's more consistent.
There's that triple. Let's see if he triples in and single. Yeah.
He's going to want this guy out
I
of the way.
haven't seen anybody do it to the inside. You know, that's the thing about it. That if you can get to that inside and jump to that inside there and come underneath somebody, I look for something like that to be a good passing point also.
After the triple single you're talking about.
Correct, yeah.
Right.
I see guys doing it on the outside.
Yeah.
They're leaving the door open. If I'm following somebody and I go over that and he triples and I'm at a 45-degree
You're going
angle,
in for the kill.
I'm going right here. He's
Block
outside
pass.
here. I don't even have to touch him. He's going to see me and he's going to have to shut the throttle off.
Jay Sowen in your picture now. He's your 5th fastest qualifier so far. He lists Owen Motorsports, 7, Club 57, Factory Metalworks, and Rhino Power as his sponsors.
A-Rod right there now, nice jump there. Looks like he might be on a heater. There's that triple single we were talking about, around that left-hander. Come down this straightaway here.
Now with about a minute to go, he's only got a couple laps left.
Well,
so
he's got a 53.2.
Yeah.
Let's see if this might bump him up. Maybe a high 52.
53.9.
Yeah, no, not his best.
We're starting to see the ruts get deeper in the corners as well, Jim. You know, you can see them dragging their foot pegs through that one right there.
Yeah, that was that step on, step off. Gonna make this right-hander hit this nice big triple. Land here, carry that momentum because you're heading into the whoops.
He looks good, you know, and he looks in control. That was his problem last year. He had a lot of speed, but
out of control.
Wow.
Last year. I mean, he was all over the place.
Highlight reel crashes.
Well, let's see. Maybe this one he can put together. So we're looking at Rinsland.
Yeah.
Bike looks like it's getting through. Bob Oliver doing the motors there, getting some help from the Yamaha factory. CycleTrader.com, Yamaha, Rock River.
Hey folks, if you're just tuning in right now, welcome to Race Day Live here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Huge show, huge race today. Tonight, coming up on Fox Sports 2, we've had some amazing guests on here. We've talked to Lyle Lovett, Will Hahn, Justin Bogle, Brock Glover. Coming up, we have the best part of our show with the 250A and 450A qualifying to see who's going to be the fastest qualifiers and get that #1 gate pick for the show tonight. Rinsland, he's going to try to beat his, fellow Yamaha rider Rodriguez here. He's going to have to pick it up about
4/10.
Yeah, half a second. So let's see if he can do it. No, he's laboring in the corner there. I don't think he's charging that hard, but maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, that's we'll see. Running into some lap traffic now. Get out of the way, boys. Going to the inside there.
I love that straightaway. I don't know why I'm so excited about something so simple, but
because you can open it up. You get a chance to open up that throttle, shift the gear.
I think the racing through there is going to be awesome. They're going to be trying to outbrake each other coming into that right-hander. We're going to see some block passes. We're going to see who's got the most horsepower. You can't hide horsepower. There's two things you can't hide: money and horsepower. It's kind of funny how those two go hand in hand.
I tried to hide money.
Oh yeah.
Well, there it is.
That's it. Wraps it up in our top 5: Rodriguez, Rinsland, Colt Nichols, Herline, and Jay Sowen, Nick Gaines, Chris Plouffe. We'll work on those names as we get into the East Coast a couple more weeks. We just started getting used to most of the guys on the West. Now we have 64 more guys.
Yeah, those are good times. I mean, you look at a lot of those guys down there, and I think if you're 56 and then you're going to see a 58, so you look at some of that.
Here we go. 250A group qualifying #2. Who's going to be the fastest guys in the 250 class? We're going to know in 10 minutes.
Well, you know who was the fastest that first time out? Marvin Musquin.
Sure was. And Justin Bogle here in your view, wearing the big #1, looking sporty out there. It's got to feel good to wear a #1 plate. I never was able to do that, Jim. Did you ever wear your #1 plate from your '85 World Supercross title?
No, I didn't want the pressure. Yeah, Ultracross I did. Yeah, it's a target on your back. Everybody's shooting for you, you know, and that's the thing about it when you have multi-time champions like Villapoto, you know, or McGrath, or those guys. I mean, they kept it, you know, 4 years in a row, you know, things like that. 5 years in a row for McGrath.
Right. Yeah, here's number 55 in your screen right now, Kyle Peters. Kyle Peters has speed. He's been around this series for 3 or 4 years now, and if he gets a hole shot, he knows how to run up front.
That section there, I think that, you know, where you saw Peters go through, I think the 450s are able to do a little bit different section there because of the power they have. These guys, unfortunately, they're on the 250s. That's it, as you see him go by Vince Freeze in the whoops there.
Looks pretty good. Let's see if he goes inside here, like you say. There's not a very, a
little
good
bit
line
middle,
down there.
middle,
right.
yeah. You gotta start developing. You gotta start moving around. And a lot of these guys, this is what this practice will be. You know, they've put down some fast lines. Now let's start moving around, because if we get this bike in the main event, we got 15 laps out there and the track's going to change. We need to know where we can go.
Now we're starting to see live timing and scoring update here, and so far,
Peters,
Bogle. Peters was way faster than Bogle there, about a whole second. I believe that we're going to see a lot of shaking up here in the next 45 minutes. So,
yeah, look at Vince Freeze, the way how he twists and works on the motorcycle, and you know, things like that. As we see Larry Ward right behind us, Larry Ward in the house with his little one. There's Larry and his little daughter there. And good to see him.
Big Bird, you know,
he's a hunter. He's like, I bet you him and Eli Tomac probably go hunting.
Absolutely.
But I don't think he uses a bow and arrow like Eli. He's a gun guy.
I know you folks at home can't see that, but when somebody like Larry Ward stops by and pats us on the back, we got to give him a shout out. You know, it's one of the best Supercross riders ever, and an all-around good guy. Vince Freezy here. Let's see.
Yeah, he's kind of looking around. He's just kind of looking to see if he can. You know, he goes, okay, all right, here I go. I'm going to go on a heater right now.
Yeah, getting it ready.
There he goes. It's on the clock. Let's see what Vince Freeze can do with 6:48 left. Be interesting. Vince is pretty creative in some of these timing sections. Sometimes he does things a little different than everybody else. Let's see that double, hit that, land on the downside. See, he didn't step on, step off. The reason being, he saw the yellow flags, couldn't really do something. Rolling all the triples now. So still up top though, Kyle Peters.
53.3, absolutely. You know, some of the guys that were fast in the first qualifying session haven't had a chance to put a heater in yet. You know, Musquin's down there in 8th place with a 102. We know he's way faster than that.
Gannon Audette there, number 73, the Legends and Heroes. Alex Morrow's helping him out. But yeah, this is really uncharacteristic in this A group to see as many yellow flags out there. You got to remember though, if we go back to Anaheim, we saw a lot of yellow flags at first, but you know, some of these guys are nervous, you know, they're out there trying to push it, put in some good times.
Hey, Gannon Audette there, he rides with a buddy of mine. I think he used to race with Earl May, so I kind of want to say Earl. He says he tunes into the show. Hi, Earl. Oh, what?
Oh, Kyle Peters.
Something stopped his motorcycle right there. I don't know how he went over the bars that fast.
Well, maybe, you know, well, let's see. If he doesn't start it up, then you know something happened, let go in the motor. But if he'll fire that thing back up, that was a mistake. Maybe he caught a neutral.
Locked up.
Might have caught a neutral or something.
It's the most evil neutral I've ever seen.
Having a hard time getting that thing started. It was upside down.
Right.
It's got kind of some short legs. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen at home.
Let's see, here he comes around. Oh, whoa, it looks like he picked up something in the track that kind of grabbed his foot peg and kind of dropped over. Kind of reminds me of Jordan Burns from Strung Out trying to start that thing. I went riding sometimes with old Jordan Burns, and it takes him a while to start his motorcycle there.
Kyle's checking it out. What the heck was that he's saying right now? There's Matthew Lemoyne. Big standout in the first qualifying practice, had a fast lap time.
Yeah, he was in the top 3.
He's going to put the hammer down here and see if he can do it again and get in that top 5.
Did you get a chance? You know, we always talk about the party in the pits. Did you see the party in the pits last week? Jordan Burns had a couple Moto Triple X gals there. They were big.
They were big in what way, Jim? Every way. Yeah, I think everybody saw him.
Well, that's why it's fun in the party of the pits. You never know what's going to happen in there.
That's right. And if you have a can of Monster, whether it's full or empty, that's all you need to get in. Bring it, get over there, and they'll let you in. And see all kinds of girls.
You know, see now that with Matt Lemoyne there, he's moving around now. He's looking for something different in the whoops. He got across here. Let's see if he drops down to the inside there. He kind of took the middle line, but let's see what he does here.
Let's look at his sponsors. I want to know who's doing his motors. He looks really good. He's for JAB Motorsports, CFF organization. He's got some Kawasaki backing and Fly motocross gear.
The man who runs the number 1, Justin Bogle out there kind of navigating his way through. You're going to hook a right-hander up and over that triple jump there. Kind of spotting the landing, looking around here. You notice how he stood up that whole way in that corner. Just kind of weighted the outside peg and just kind of made that turn and blitzed right through the whoops. He looks good. That bike didn't dance around at all.
Looks really good. His whole kit looks good there. The whole setup. The number 1, the red backgrounds.
The big Geico on the side of his lats there on his arms. He's ready to go. He's ready to defend, that's for sure.
You know who I'm not seeing out there that hasn't posted a time is rookie RJ Hampshire. I'm not sure if he went down in the first qualifying practice, but it definitely raises an eyebrow looking over at the top 20 here and not seeing him. But there's Savachi here. A lot of expectations riding for Mitch Payton's team. That's the most winning organization in the history of Supercross.
I know it. They don't even have one out west.
Right.
They got podiums out west, but no wins.
All right. That doesn't last very long with Mitch. You know, you talk about winning streaks and losing streaks, and he'll win one of these before too long, one way or the other. He'll be back. Might be with this rider right there in your screen with Joey Savachi.
Well, and I really like, see Joey checked up. He saw the number 1 coming. He said, I'm not going to let you follow me and look at some of my tricks.
With a little under 4 minutes to go, it's Arnautonis. He's your fastest, followed by Musquin, Davalos, Bogle, and Martin. That's your top 5. Tonis laid down a blistering fast lap with a 51.8.
Yeah, and after that, you're going to see below Martin there, Fries, Oldenburg, Peters, Kyle Cunningham, Joey Savachi, and the Ripper, Jimmy Dakotas, Gannon Audette. That's going to be the rest of the guys down to 12th.
Martin's on a heater here. Let's see if he goes to the top. Let's see how fast he gets through the whoops.
See, now a little different style than Bogle. He sat down in that right-hand corner. He didn't stand up.
It looks like he's going pretty fast. Good corner, good right-handed corner.
Stay out of my way, stay out of my way.
One of the things that Martin does is he always presses his bike into the ground. As soon as he jumps, he is super aggressive, getting his tires back down as fast as he can. Bam. So let's see if he jumps up here. As he comes across the line.
Someone who just jumped up, Marvin Musquin with a 51.5.
Wow, yeah, he sure did. Him and Tonis, you know, they had a 51.8 and a 51.9. Now they have a 51.5 and a 51.6. So the European, and then in 3rd place we got Martin Davalos. The first time we have an American showing up here is Justin Bogle in 4th. A lot of diversity here in the 250 group.
Yeah, Bogle though, he was on the show. He's okay with that. He just says, hey, as long as I'm up on the board, I'm good. I don't care. I don't get paid to have the fastest time. I get paid to win.
When the pay window's open.
My bonuses come with wins.
That's right.
Martin now kind of looking up, pulling the tear off. Martin Davalos right behind him. We'll get a chance to look at that. Martin come into our screen here. And gonna slow down, regroup. See if he can go on a heater here. No.
I'm really impressed with Tonis. You know, the Supercross over in Europe is nothing like it is here. So it's hard for those guys to gain those skills when they're coming up through the ranks. You know, the only way that they really are able to get faster is to come to Southern California, get on a big team, and start riding some of their tracks.
Well, they just got a few more minutes left in this one, about 1:20 to go.
And folks, DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes. And attention race fans, check out the reigning national MX champion Yamaha YZ250F and 2015 YZ450F 4-strokes at YamahaMotorsports.com today.
Taking a chance now to look at Marvin Musquin. He looks like he's on a heater here. He wants to go.
He's going fast. Awesome ride.
Got a new motorcycle too.
Yeah, 250 factory edition. You know, it's Dungey says that thing's the best bike he's ever rode. Justin Hill showed a lot of speed on his.
I think Marvin's going to better his time. I'm watching some of his lines here, and that timing section, he did something a little bit different.
Number 52, Mitchell Oldenburg there.
Kind of looking around to see where Marvin, when he comes across the...
Oldenburg's had a pretty decent qualifying effort today. He's sitting in 8th place right now. Yeah, did Musquin go across the finish line yet?
Not
Jim?
yet. He's coming. He's coming. Let's see if that 51.5 drops.
I can tell you he just laid it flat over the finish line, big time. 52.1, so a little bit slower there. Once again, your top 5 right now. 250 Group A qualifying number 2, Marvin Musquin, Arnaud Tonis, Martin Davalos, Justin Bogle, and Jeremy Martin. And the checkered flag's out, so whoever's on the track right now might shake up the top 10. We'll go down through it. 6th is Joey Savacci, 7th is Vince Freese, 8th is Mitch Oldenburg, 9th is Kyle Peters, and local Texas racer Kyle Cunningham is in the 10th position on his Honda.
Freese is on a heater right now. Hopefully this one will count. We'll see if he can bump up. Freese has got a 52.9. We'll see if that, there's Freese right there. Got a couple little jumps to go. Boom, let's see, it's in, and yeah, Freese jumps up to 4th now with a 52.4.
Really good lap for him. Wow, you know, a lot of people, a lot of my colleagues were saying Marvin Musquin, you know, this is his series. You know, they're ready to fit the crown on him, and he did little to prove those guys wrong. He dominated both group qualifying efforts in the 250 class. Gets the number 1 gate bit coming into tonight, and it's going to be tough to beat him. He looks good. Tonis looks good. Jeremy Martin, not as fast there as he was the first time out, but he's a gamer, just like Bogle. So, like they say, Jim, that's why they run the races. We want to thank MMI. If you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross.
49 there, that looks like the
Jimmy
Ripper.
Dakotas, that's him, yeah. He's looking up and seeing where he's at.
11th, he's not going to be happy with that.
Here come the big boys, 450A. Qualifying number 1.
Monster Energy Supercross. How about it? He wears the number 200, Arnaud Tonis. Arnaud, congratulations. Welcome to Monster Energy Supercross. Great job.
Thank you very much. It feels great, you know, to be at home. It's kind of an unknown for me, you know, it's the first Supercross, so I'm really enjoying. The track is great today, and I hope it's going to be some good races for you tonight.
What are your thoughts on the track, your first time being here in America racing in the Monster Energy Supercross?
I try to don't think, well, because I think that it's not a good deal with all those whoop section and stuff like that. I'm not really used to it, so try to be focused and don't think too much.
Well, fantastic job and best of luck tonight. One more time for the number 200 machine on Monster Energy Pro Circuit, Kawasaki making his American debut. Arnaud Tonis.
And back on track. Here we go. 450 qualifying group number 2. That's it for these guys. We're going to see who has the number 1 gate pick. Josh Hill, man, tough sled for him this year. Missing main events. It was really close in San Diego last weekend. The thing is, he's riding great. He has fast lap times, very poor starts. You know, it was Christina Denny, the team manager of Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha, not Austin Hoover. He's just, you know, he helps them out, but she's the manager. It's funny how this is an interactive show.
Well, she's the manager when she's here on site.
Right, boss
But
lady.
then if not,
Austin
her husband, Chris,
okay.
you know, he'll take over the reins. But I asked her, I said, hey, you looking forward to going to back-to-back, you know, round 2 and 3 in your home state there, Atlanta? She goes, not really. I had to get so many tickets, well over 100 stickers to get people into the pits and stuff.
Well,
not only is she a team manager, but she's also a ticket master.
It's awesome. We just need to see a better start from Josh Hill and see if he can express the talent that he has. You know, they said they worked with him on the bike a lot this. Whoa,
hang on to it. Look out. That's Hill. I mean, you see how he saved it? That's a veteran. He knew he was getting off. He kind of waited, just kind of made a little mistake there hitting the tough box. But it's just unfortunate for Vicki Golden. We just kind of saw on the phone there that did not make the top 50 fastest. They only take the top 40. So, but hey, you know what? If I'm her, I'm happy with what I did. I'm going on. I'm moving on to Atlanta next week.
Healthy as a horse. You know, everything went good. It was a cool story. She proved herself out there as a worthy racer. She jumped all the triples, looked pretty good. A little more experience, she has a better chance in the races to come. Speaking about action right now, this guy right here, he kind of made a turn last weekend. Showed a little bit more speed qualifying, looked good in his heat race, raced at the front of the main event before going down. Davey Millsaps is going to be ready to get in the podium here very soon.
Yeah, I know him and all the guys at the Monster Energy Kawasaki team. We got to get that Cowie on the podium. First things first, podium. Then we'll go for some wins. Look at Dungey working the bike as he gets in the whoops. You notice when he goes in the whoops, he kind of lifts up on the bike to get up on top of it.
Flat and planed out that bike looked in the whoops. And did we think we'd ever be saying that we'd say, wow, look at that KTM handle in the whoops? They have figured that thing out. It looks great. It corners on a dime.
Well, I think this just goes to show you the commitment that Roger DeCoster, Ian Harrison, Pitt Meyer, all the guys, Andrew Short, over the BTO Sports, helping develop that motorcycle. I mean, that's a complete, motorcycle for these guys, a whole brand new bike, that factory edition.
That was a pretty good lap by Dungey there. Still not as fast as Trey Canard, or Ken Roczen, who just jumped to the top with a 50.7.
Yeah, but you got to remember that that 50.7 with the time that we have left, well over 5 minutes left, and that first time practice, they were in the 49.4s, for Ken Roczen, and I'm sure that time will come in, but maybe the whoops are starting to break down a little bit where they're losing, just that little bit there. You're seeing a lot of ruts here as we're getting a chance to see Kyle Chisholm rounding number 11 out there. Saw his mom and dad earlier, big fans of the sport of Supercross, and their
good
son,
family.
one of the
really great family,
top 20 guys. There's
Kyle's
Trey
younger
Canard.
brother's racing right now, and he's on his way to try to make it to Supercross. So,
well, he's got to go through the Amsoil Arena Cross, the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. Maybe he'll be in Tampa next week with Wes Kane.
Yeah. He'll be pumped up if Wes is there, that's for sure. As we're watching Trey Canard, man, won the race last weekend under tremendous pressure with Ken Roczen.
Well, he's on a heater right now. He's going to make this right-hander here. He's going to deal with that wall jump there. A couple little doubles there, kind of wheel tapped it, a little bit of a whip up there. Let's see. Nope, still that was a 52.0. Yep, so that 51.3 for Trey Canard still keeps him in that second position.
With a little under 5 minutes to go, your top 10 here at 450. Group A, qualifying number 2, Ken Roczen, Eli Tomac, Trey Canard, Ryan Dungey, Andrew Short, fast again in 5th place, followed by Brock Tickle, Cole Seeley, Blake Blaggett, Josh Hill, and Chad Reed rounding out the top 10.
There's the Lobo on the Husky there, Jason Anderson there going around Millsaps up and over that triple. Everyone's still kind of going to that outside. Well, they got to carry that speed. See Anderson come down this straight. Yeah, this is going to be hard tonight if you're following somebody, because when they grab a big handful of that 450, you got to duck your head, use the visor. It's going to hurt coming out down that straightaway with 3:56 to go.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier when we were watching, Jim. I'm glad you brought up that point. The roost off the back of these 450cc machines is, well, it's unbearable. You can't take it. I don't care how tough you are. You got to get out of the way.
Yeah, you just can't. I mean, it's like standing in front of
rubber bullets.
5 guys with a paintball gun and just and you take off your shirt. Sometimes these guys take off their shirt and there's big welts,
huge
all over them, and especially on your arms too, because you got to remember your arms are out there. Your biceps get hammered too.
And we're watching Michael Lessie here. He missed a round and to get his knee worked on a little bit. Mike's won some heat races. He's won 2 heat races this year and had a top 10. He's another guy. This is a track that can kind of play into his favor. If he gets a good hole shot, he has the skills to run up front.
Yeah, right now you're looking at Alessi, though. He's back down in 17th, only with a 53.5. I say only a 53.5. I mean, you jump up there, you got 52s, 51s. Right now we have only one guy, Kenny Roczen, with a 50.5 at the top. There's my buddy Weston Pike at a 51.1, set in second. There's Cole Seeley. It's about time we get Cole Seeley up there. Been a little bit quiet there, but Seeley sits in that third spot now with a 51.3. I know that his manager, Seacrest, Brian Seacrest, he'll be happy to hear that Seeley up into that third spot right now.
Once again, 3 Hondas in the top 5 in qualifying. That's been the trend lately. They're really, look at Weston Pike. Wow.
Second. Yeah,
Wow.
looking good coming back from that injury. But I'm more surprised, not surprised. I mean, he should be up there. Cole Seeley, I mean, you know, he's had a second this year, and you know, he's had some good finishes. He's sitting 6th in the points right now, and it's time for Cole Seeley to win his first in the 450 class. He's had seconds, he's had thirds, and he's running that number 14. Kevin Wyndham's here tonight.
I just
got
saw
a chance
Kevin.
to saw Kevin
He's got
floating around, so I'm sure Kevin Wyndham, he's won a lot of them here, Kevin Wyndham, at this track here.
You has. I tell you what, he's got a beard right now. I walked right by him on track walk, and I was like, whoa. No, he's got a serious beard running right
Well,
now.
I mean, you look at it, now would be a first time for Seeley to get his first wins. The first win in 1975, Jimmy Ellis got his first win. John Michelle Bale in 1990, Doug Henry in 1995, and James Stewart in 2005 got their first wins in that 450 class here in Texas, in Arlington. So we'll see if Cole Seeley can do that.
Got the stats going on, Jim Holly.
Yeah, a few of them anyhow. You know, Reed, he's, you know, you talked about Wes Kane. You know, we haven't talked much about Reed, you know, sitting down there in 12th right now, but Reed's got 4 wins here in Dallas. Ricky Johnson 3 and James Stewart 3. So, I mean, Reed, we not only talked about him last weekend in San Diego with the most wins, but he's got a lot of wins here in Texas.
Right. That's it. We're under a minute to go here in 450 qualifying number 2. This is it. We're going to see who's going to get the number 1 gate pick for the heat races tonight. Right now, Ken Roczen's your fastest racer with a 50.5, followed by Eli Tomac with a 50.9. Weston Pike still holding tough in 3rd. Cole Seeley 4th. Ryan Dungey 5th. Man, I'm getting nervous just even thinking about my podium picks tonight. I think I wrote them down earlier, but after watching practice.
Well, you got Wes Kane's down, right?
yeah. We're gonna use Wes's. His look pretty good, other than well, who knows? You can't ever tell with Chad Reed. Just like Justin Bogle said, practice sometimes doesn't really show much.
Well, I know Kurt Benke, his favorite guy, he thinks Eli Tomac's going to do it in that 450 class, followed up by Ken Roczen and Dungey on the podium for that 5th. So we'll see what happens there, but that's Kurt Benke's picks.
I don't know. The guy we're watching right now on your screen, number 94, you know, since he banged his face at Oakland, he got 4th the weekend, you know, after that. Then he finished 2nd last weekend. You got to remember, he's won 2 of these already this season, and he's the fastest qualifying first time out, fastest qualifier right now. I don't know. The German could be tough to count out tonight.
Yeah, but you can't count out Dungey. Look at the diesel up there. He turned in that last lap of 50.6, so he's just 1/10 behind Ken Roczen.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Couldn't be a better environment. We have thousands of people here watching practice and qualifying at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That wraps it up. Your top 10, Roczen, Dungey, Tomac, Pike, Seeley, Canard, Hill, Short, Tickle, and Anderson. Kind of crazy not seeing Chad Reed or Davey Millsaps in the top 10, but...
and that could be somebody's pick right there, the top 3 right there. Roczen, Dungey, Tomac. That's a great pick to go with, but look at my man Weston Pike, man. He could slip in there and get his first podium of his career. I mean, that's another guy, but like you had talked about, you see some of the other guys, Reed down in 11th, or 12th rather, Baggett in 11th, Anderson at 10th, 9th, Tickle, Short, a good shot for Short. And look at Hill, Josh Hill in that 7th behind Canard.
KTM, current points leader of Ryan Dungey, 2nd fastest qualifier, not seeing the 49 seconds we saw out of the first one. It looks like this track is starting to break down a little bit, and suspension could be the key to a victory.
Yeah, it's kind of good because just with this track being so rough, and they didn't have time to work it, it's pretty much like the main event. It's choppy and hard pack and rough, but was rushing it a little bit out there, kind of calmed down, fell into a nice groove, and the time helps for qualifying into the heat race. So we'll build on that and get ready for the night show, but everything feels on point.
You know, being a former Supercross champion, being consistent can win a championship. And so far, your season, 4th place, your worst finish so far. That's great going already this deep in the season.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is going to really pay off. It always does in the long run, but at the same time, winning is going to be important and rising to the occasion on the night, when you have to. So as we go forward, we'll do what we got to do and put her on top. That's the goal, but giving it our best is second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, great qualifying round number 2 for Ryan Dungey, sitting in 2nd position. As we head into the night program, he's going to head back to the truck, probably sign some autograph, meet and greet some friends. So one more time for the number 5.
And back on track, there's Ronnie Stewart. Man, so that's it. Roczen's the fastest qualifier. Dungey was 2nd. It's going to be tough tonight.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm kind of speechless right now. I don't know where to go as far as my picks. I know, it's going to be hard. Anybody could win. So that's the thing about it. So
it's great. The theme tonight is just uncertainty and action. But last weekend the theme was Military Appreciation Weekend. It was really cool. All the soldiers were tuning in on the American Forces Network, and we had a special Toyota tailgate talk where we went and talked to a lady that has a great effort handing out jobs that soldiers that return from the battle.
Hiring our heroes.
Right, hiring our heroes. It was a really cool piece. So hope you enjoy it. Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. This is this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. It's Military Appreciation Night here at Petco Park in San Diego. We're with Meredith Buzist from the Hiring Our Heroes program. Go ahead and tell us about your program.
Yeah, sure. So in partnership with Toyota, Hiring Our Heroes is a partnership with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Our program is designed to help transitioning service members, veterans, as well as military spouses help find meaningful work in the civilian workforce.
So you have some soldiers that are here with you, some returning soldiers that have fought for us, and they've been on the track walk and they're having a good time, and you're currently helping those guys find jobs.
Right, exactly. And the way we're doing that is through our 2 free online tools, Resume Engine and Career Spark, that were developed exactly for this purpose. They help returning service members and transitioning service members translate their military skills into an HR-friendly resume, which is great. And our tools have been reviewed, by Fortune 500 companies. All thumbs up. Great stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And tell us about your association with Toyota. This is the Toyota Tailgate Talk, so they're a wonderful company to work with, I'm sure.
They're amazing. Toyota has had a long-standing commitment to military causes, and with the personal branding Resume Engine, this is just another way to give back and find, veterans and service members, as well as military spouses, jobs and meaningful work. So we're absolutely thrilled to be partnering with them.
Well, that's Meredith here with Hiring Our Heroes. It's Military Night here in Petco Park in San Diego for round 6. This is this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Dungey, riding for Red Bull KTM on the number 5 bike, and you're watching Race Day Live.
And welcome back to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Round 7 of the 2015 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Series kicks off here in a few hours. It's going to air on Fox Sports 2 tonight at 8 p.m. It's going to be good, Jim.
Yeah, not only that, but Behind the Dreams is going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. They're going in depth with this segment with Ryan Dungey on the West Coast at 7:30 in the morning. But I'm back here still, so I'll be able to get a chance to see it.
Right, that's on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. They've been following, some significant people in our industry. Last week it was, Roczen, like you said, with Dungey right now. We're going to see how that guy's training and how he's come to be the 450cc points leader 6 rounds into this championship. So tonight's round 7, the 250 East Coast kicks off here in a little bit. We've got Justin Bogle running the number 1 plate. We've got Arnaud Tonis making his debut for Mitch Payton's team. Jeremy Martin, the defending outdoor national champion, is going to try to race tonight. Marvin Musquin. We got rookies. We got RJ Hampshire. What else do we need?
Well, we need to do our picks.
Oh, boy.
We got to do the picks.
I don't want to do them. They're too tough.
Well, you go first.
I'll go first. All right. It's
Come on, we got to pick it up like Wes Kane. What's Wes Kane's?
Who knows?
Wes Kane here. My picks are shaking the stage. We're ready to go racing,
I need
buddy.
to get my sunglasses. Nah, man, Wes is great. No, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start with the 250s. Marvin Musquin looks too good. He coming into the event, people had, they're like, hey, he's going to be the guy. He looks like the guy to me so far. He's fastest in both qualifying. Number 25 is going to get the win. I think Jeremy Martin's going to be second. Arnaud Tonis, I think, is going to round out the podium in the 250s. That's it. Number 25, number 6, and number 200. In the 450 division, I think.
Well, wait a minute. Let me go to my picks in the 250. You got that Wes Kane speed, man. You're moving fast.
That's what you said.
I'm thinking. I'm going to go with you. I think 25. I think Marvin Musquin. I think he's just ready to go. I had down number 1, Bogle in second. I think he's going to get second there. I had Martin Davalos, but I'm going to scratch him off. I think I think the Yamaha. I think Jeremy Martin, and then I have a question mark next to Tonis, and the reason why I have that is he's incredibly fast.
Right.
This is his first one. He hasn't dealt with 15 laps before. So I don't know how he's going to play out with all this, but he's definitely going to be a factor in this East Coast Championship there. But with that being said, I'm going to go 25, 1, and 6, and we'll find out.
So can I go to my 450 picks now?
Right now. The gate is dropped. Now we can go to the 450.
All right, man. Ken Roczen, I think it's time for him to win again. He looks too strong in practice not to. It's hard for me, not to go with Trey Canard, the local guy, but I think Ken Roczen's going to get it done tonight. Second place, the Diesel. I don't think he likes that nickname. He's talked about it. He doesn't like it. Well,
I love it.
It's not really up to who gets.
There's the Diesel right up in front of us.
Yeah, you don't choose your nicknames.
I'm going to tell Nathan, our graphic guy, I'm going to put Diesel underneath there.
Right.
Ryan Dungey, or Ryan, a.k.a. the Diesel.
Yeah.
We'll get him a poster and we'll hand it to him. Ask him if he can sign it for us.
Right. That's a nickname some of my colleagues and myself have been kicking around on print journalism. And
I don't know if he likes it. He says yeah, I'm okay with it, but I don't think he's thrilled with it.
No, but that's okay. And then I think rounding out the podium is going to be Trey Canard. Like I said, I would like to see him win tonight in front of his home. It's not really his home state fans. He's from Oklahoma, but he spent the majority of his amateur career racing here in Texas. A lot of local fans, a lot of people cheering him on. He needs to win and close out the points gap. Roczen just looks too tough. I just think he's going to win it tonight and be the first 3-time winner of this young series. So that's my picks.
Here's my picks. I kind of had some things circled here, but I agree with you. I think it's Kenny Roczen's time. I think that the battle he had last weekend in San Diego with Trey and Trey getting the win, he's saying I just saw him come up and back and forth, and I think it's his time tonight. Ken Roczen for the win, and then I'm going to put Trey Canard in second. I think they're going to flip-flop from last week, and then I'm going to put Eli Tomac on the podium for third. I kind of had it a different way, but you could go either way. You could go just the way they qualified in time practice, with Roczen and then Dungey, and then you could go with Tomac. But I'm going to go with, like I said, I'm going to go 94. I'm going to go with 41, and I'm going to go with the number 3.
It's not the first time, and probably not the last time. I got to disagree with you. The point leader not on the podium here in Texas. What kind of crazy event's going to happen for Dungey not to make the podium tonight?
Well, I know Kurt Benke's picking him to be on the podium in third, but I just think that I don't know. I just think that those guys, Dungey, he could lay back and get a fourth. I think he's okay with that, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting either way.
I know, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's hard to pick 3 guys, man. I don't know. Dungey, if he doesn't make the podium, it wouldn't be. To me, it'd be certainly surprising. But
and Dungey can surprise everybody. He can whole shot pick up $1,500 from SupercrossLive.com and just run away with this thing and gain a lot more points as we head into Atlanta. But I just think it's Ken Roczen's time.
I agree.
We'll see what happens.
I agree. Number 94 tonight is going to be pretty strong. We hope you've enjoyed the show today. We've had a great time being with you here at AT&T Stadium. Fans are still pouring in this place. It's going to be a sellout tonight here in Jerry's World. We want to thank all of our guests for coming on. Lyle Lovett, Justin Bogle, Will Hahn, our buddy Will Hahn, Brock Glover. It was awesome. Wes Kane, can't forget about Wes. It was awesome having him and his positive energy on the show. All of our sponsors, Amsoil, MMI, Yamaha, DC Shoes, thank you for being a part of our show and letting me and Jim do this. Happy Valentine's Day to all the females at home. Happy Valentine's Day to Mandy. Hopefully you and Stella are having a good day, and it's all coming up tonight. Remember, Fox Sports 2 at 8 p.m. We've switched over from Fox Sports 1 to Fox Sports 2, so get that tuned in. Get your TiVo set if you can't watch it live. It's going to be a huge show. 250 East kicks off here in a little bit.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, can't wait to get going. Thank you for tuning in. Fox Sports 2, 8 p.m. Can't say it enough. Thank you for joining us on Race Day Live. All over the country, all of our international viewers, thank you so much.